Watch how it goes down. They got me in the dark tonight. I don't know why. They want me in the dark, but I'm not gonna let them. That's not how.
We get it ready to blow. We get it ready to blow. We get it ready to, so ready to, oh so ready to.
I'ma go get it.
We get it ready to.
I'ma go get it.
We get it ready to.
I'ma go get it.
We get it ready to, so ready to, oh so ready to.
We ready for jump ball. Center court now. Standing tall now. Hold the fort down. This is showtime. More than sports now. More than crunch time. We rush like fourth down. I be taking wins. We don't mess with laws. I be taking wins. We don't mess with laws. I be taking wins. We don't mess with laws. I be taking wins. We don't mess with laws. We been on that paper chasing all that fashion. We been on that paper chasing what you ration. Been in the grind now. We ready for prime time. Ready for shine now. We ready to get smile. On the rise, all eyes up on us now. Blast off spaceships till the touchdown. Energy level on high. Put that trouble on fire. Double it down, I'ma spit it around. Click, clack, boom, we the best in town. Energy level on high. Put that trouble on fire. Double it down, I'ma spit it around. Click, clack, boom, we the best in town. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though.
We get it ready to, so ready to, oh so ready to blow.
Are you ready to blow? I hope you're ready to blow. I feel like I'm in a fog. It's kind of okay. I'll live with it, but I'm in the fog and I got the white shirt on, so I feel like I'm glowing. So I hope that's okay for everybody. I'm glowing. I hope you're glowing. Good evening, everybody. It is August 12th. And is it 12th or 12th? I think I said 12th. But you see what I'm saying? I'm glowing. It's like this crazy like auto filter or something. It's the white shirt. First it was the blue shirt, now it's the white shirt, but it's throwing me off. But I'm all good. I'm all good, people. I hope y'all good. My name is Pro. I am one half of the invincible ProQuo. And ProQuo has a joint coming out that I need y'all to look out for. And it's called Dive In It. It is the Angels' favorite joint on the track and on the album. And it's going for ads September 6th. So in music land out there. So you're gonna hear that on the radio. Hopefully, call in. You know what I mean? And speaking of on the radio right now, shout out to my man Fee. We got our X-Cal joint out there, and it kind of feels like the same vibe of what I'm talking about right now, because I'm talking about having the Angel up tonight with SlimKid3. And what we're talking about is remixes of records that you did that you knew were hot, but you didn't put them out to the airwaves yet and share them with the people. I mean, you might have shared them with the people, but you might have shared them before the digital era, right? So I ask you, artists, do you have joints that you could put out right now that you feel could bump, that are like a back in the days track? You see what I did right there, right? Shout out to back in the day. Shout out to my man Fee. Or that could just stand on their own, even if they had never came out and they weren't back in the days joint. Maybe it's a couple years removed, right? Maybe you put the joint out a couple years ago and you're like, yo, I think this joint is kind of hot. Could you bump it? And that's the question I got for you, right? So that is the question. So yeah. So shout out to people that are watching us on YouTube. Facebook is being a little funny lately. They're being a little funny lately with the stream. The stream has not. Let me know where you're watching, because if you're watching on Facebook, it is facebook.com/ well, you can watch on the ProQuo show. You can watch it on Professor Lyrical, which is my personal page, which is a pretty easy one to watch it on. So let me know where you're watching. But I'm going to type right here into the chat, and then I'm going to share it with you. So if you're trying to check us out, if you didn't see the flyers or whatnot, youtube.com, it is Lyrical of Invasion. Shout out to my old crew, Invasion. And that's a good place to watch it. You can click that link. But if you're already watching it, I know you're seeing it, but maybe for people that are watching it a different way after the fact, because a lot of people check in on the replay. In fact, lately, that's where we've been getting our most views. So it's been the replays. And shout out to people who watch us on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday are our two biggest days of watching. In fact, 2 weeks ago and last week, the last time we played our shows, the last 2 weeks, we took a break off because of vacation, but we had more views overall on Saturday and Sunday than we did on the actual streams, which is good. I get it. It's summer. People are watching when they can watch. So shout out to the people that are that remain faithful like that. And what I'm going to do is I am going to take our YouTube vibe, which is where we broadcast on YouTube, and I'm going to throw it onto Facebook for people to make sure that they know where to find the show as well. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to click over here, and I'm going to say hi from Facebook so you know it's me, right? So hi, you'll see that coming through on the stream in a second. And then over here on my page, watch us live on YouTube. Streaming now with Angel, and typing this in real time. And SlimKid3 of the Pharcyde. Boom. Boom. There's the link. And you can watch it and chime in there because Facebook's being real funny lately. They're hearing music, and as soon as they hear music and they think that it's copywritten music, they do like a little check on you, and they'll kill your signal for a little while until they find out that it's you. So it can be a pain. You know what I mean? We got the going live soon on our page messaging, so we know it's coming up. So it's weird. I don't know what Facebook's thinking. I don't know why they want people to leave their streams. All right, the stream is up and running on Facebook now, but I don't know why they want people to leave their streams, because YouTube's actually making it easier than Facebook. All right, so that's what's going on. I'm getting a crazy delay tonight. So shout out to the delay. I'm seeing myself in delay, which is what I usually don't see. But I hear that it's broadcasting fine. I was checking it out in the other streams. I was talking right there. So what I was asking earlier when we were running at the top, I was saying, do you have a joint? If you're an artist, do you have a joint that maybe you made like last year or 2 years ago, and you're like, yo, I can put that out right now? Do you have one that you made maybe 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, and you're like, yo, I'm going to put that out now? Do you have a joint that you never really put out to the ether, meaning like you never put it out in the digital world, and you're like, yo, that was on wax, I want to put it out finally. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to put it out vinylly. Ooh. But you know what I'm saying, right? Do you have a joint that, because I'm thinking of like, Fee and I have been talking about this. We're like, yo, we got some ex-Cal joints. The world heard them. The world heard them at that time, but this world hasn't heard them because we didn't put them out digitally. So we're going to go back in the vault and put them out. And that's kind of why I'm excited to have the Angel here tonight, because it's like, you have to have a certain resume and a certain catalog to be able to do that. Can you just go back in the vault and take something out that you know would bump in certain lights? And that's it, finding your niche. We're going to talk a little bit about that too when we have them up here. It's about knowing where your niche is, knowing what market you can expose, and what kind of lane is your song. Like, is your song something that fits a movie? Is it something that fits in a video game? Is it something that fits in a TV show or a commercial? Is it an album cut? Is it a single that's going to stand alone? These lights are crazy. It's like I got mad producers behind me or something, which I definitely don't. So it's thinking about, where does your song go and where would it most likely pop off on? And if we think that out, we can sort of think about marketing strategies for those of us artists who are taking independent routes. And I have to be careful with the way that they market their songs. Be careful with the budgets. Be careful with the pennies to make sure that it actually works in your advantage. Like you don't want to put a song out and think that you're working it in one lane and then you find out that the song's going to work in another. You want to test that out ahead of time, think about it, strategize, get your team, get your little listening session going and go, where would this best be? And then attack, right? And if you've got multiple lanes for a song, well, that's all great. I want to shout out people that are trying to wind down the summer. For those of us who are more on the East Coast of things, I know the West Coast, it's like summer all year, but East Coast, we got the season things, you know what I mean? And it's coming to the end. We did the water park thing too, and extremely recently. And the water park, it's got like about 3 more weeks here, but school is going back for most people out here, East Coast. It's probably the 22nd. Now, when I was a little younger, and not even when I was like younger, I'm just talking like last year. So, Labor Day, sort of the historical thing, right? People go back after Labor Day. But when you start going back like the 15th, the 22nd, the 29th, it psychologically can shorten your summer, right? Because if not everybody's together in that summer movement with you, your brain starts going, once I hear August, I'm thinking end of summer. And that's crazy because the end of summer is September 21st. And subliminally, this is how they get you. It's the fall semester in higher ed. And so we have professional development next week. And a lot of teachers do. Shout out to all my teachers and educators out there. We roll thick. And in our head, it's the same thing. You want to be able to think, I got May. Higher ed, we got May, right? Parts of May. And then June. All right. So if you're in K-12, you're like, I got out mid-June. I got to mid-July. Man, I don't even have to mid-August. So in your head, it's not really like, the whole summer off. It's really, when all said and done, especially if you're working in the summer, it's a few weeks is what it really feels like and turns into. So I'm advocating we don't put back the kids until September 5th or whatever Labor Day falls on. That's what I'm advocating for. Clear summer. You know what I'm saying? June, boom. July, boom. August. Whoever came up with the rationale for the days that we do, I don't know what they're thinking. Like, what is the chemistry? If you think about like K-12, and I'll actually tell you, it's 180 days that the students are in school. If you've never thought about that before, which is half of 360, right? If you think of 180 divided by 5, you're talking 36 weeks. Who came up with that? Like, I'm kind of wondering, like, what was that based on? I wonder if any of my educator friends out there know. If you know what the model of why we claim we need 180 days to educate people, like, to me, that is a long time to keep people in the same grade, in the same situation. Like, I'm used to doing a show at a concert, at a college or whatever. I'm there once, maybe twice, right? That's it. Done. Have a nice day. Like, hope you figured it out, right? Hope you figured out my messaging and I'm done. And it's like, who says that we learn best by saying, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go through like 8 chapters in this book. Like, really? We're going through 8 chapters in the book? I've just never been a huge fan of that. I feel like you can learn a lot in a shorter amount of time that you'll retain longer if we just chop these things up into more bite-sized intervals. And, in K-12, you're doing quarters in most situations. And so, you're chopping up 45-day, 40. And by the way, for those of you not playing along at home, I'm a math guy, right? So 180, you cut it in half, it's 90, 90, cut it in half, it's 45. That's how I knew a fourth of 180, by the way. It's not like I did 180 divided by 4. That was the trick. Cut it in half again. That's free math right there, people. Free math from Pro. So 45 days, like, to learn some topics, like, it seems random. I mean, I know 45 and 45 is 90. It's a nice number. We're talking geometry, right? But it can't be like the geometry. Can it? Can it be so simple? Is that what it is? We're just sitting around doing geometry and we're like, that makes a good amount of days. I want to know. That's what I want to know. I got to say shout out to, I got a lot of people to say shout outs to, for real. That is without question. But there's some people I want to shout out that I haven't got a chance to shout out. Shout out to Jonathan Pickin, man. I know you're a big SlimKid3 fan. We're going to have him up here soon. And shout out to my man Quo. Shout out to all the people that are in either higher ed or K-12 who made the great exodus this year and aren't going back. Shout out to you. If you managed to retire, shout out to you. If you are a hip hop artist and you're back on the road, shout out to you. If you're a hip hop artist and you drop in a project and you're one of the 60,000 people who do it on Spotify every day, not just hip hop, but 60,000 tracks a day dropping on Spotify, shout out to you for dropping something. Yo, taking the plunge. You know what? A lot of people are dope. I heard my man Bernard saying this. Shout out to my man Bernard too. We do a Sunday show called Introverse. If you get a chance to check us out on Introverse. We go 6:30 right here, same links. And we do it mostly for us. And we're working on this series of things where we talk about being creative extroverts and social introverts, right? It's a weird phenomena. Like we're more than happy to be extroverts when it's in a creative setting. And we talked this out, we planned this out, and I heard him talking, and he was mentioning like it's not that you can't rap, it's not that you can't sing. Everybody can sing, and he'll challenge you. He'll say everybody can rap. It's just our ear kind of knows when somebody can do it well, right? If we're being honest with ourselves, our ear knows when we're hearing something that's either correct or it's offbeat in a way that's correct, in a way that was intentional, with a pattern, a rhythm, a cadence, a melody, a chorus, whatever the situation is, whatever floats your boat, right? We know when someone's craftsmanship is in the vein of what we like and it's excellent, right? So it's not that I love his point. It's not that you can't rap. It's not that you can't sing. It's that you may not do it as well as somebody else. And are we putting the time in to our craft? So when we're talking about putting a song out, I think what my point is that a lot of people won't put the song out because of fear that it won't actually be that dope, right? They won't put out the material that they have. And I see you back there, Slim. They won't put out the material that they have. I'm dealing with the weirdest color in the world thing going on here, but I'm gonna work with it. They won't put out the material that they have for fear that someone will say something about it, or it won't go platinum, right? Like, in other words, it's let's say that you had a song that was going Wood in the Hood, right? And maybe you sold 5,000 units and it did pretty well around the way, but it did, it's not going gold, it's not going platinum, it's not bringing plaques back or anything like that. It's not even bringing framed CDs back, right? It's just doing what it did, right? And now you're like, oh, I don't want to play myself, so I'm not going to play out something. I'm not going to put out something, excuse me, right? How many people do you know that rap that are actually pretty dope who've never put out anything? Because I get this all the time. I get people talking about the new school and talking about the old school. And, some people will poo poo on the younger people. They'd be like, yo, they ain't doing it the way that we used to do it or whatnot. Or vice versa, right? You'll have people talking about some of our more established people in there, be like, they're not doing that new kind of stuff. So we fear the criticism sometimes. And so it paralyzes us not to put stuff out. So to me, it's not that, certainly there's not any lack of talent, and it's not that there's any. And shout out to the Angels, shout out to SlimKid3. I see y'all. We're gonna get you up in a second. It's not that the talent doesn't exist. The talent is definitely out there, and it's not that, I firmly believe this. It's not that, all the artists that are out are doing a certain thing, and that there's not dope artists out there. It's gonna just be harder to find the type of artist that you like, because, like we said, we know there's 60 to 75,000 songs coming out a day on Spotify, if you're following the latest and greatest of what those metrics are saying, right? So if you got 60, 75, like, how in the world are you going to find the people that you want to find unless you're in the know? So we're going to try to put you in the know with how it goes down tonight. We got some great music coming out, but it's like, unless you sort of stumble into it, unless you sort of know someone who knows someone, how are you going to actually figure it out in this day and age? We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about marketing when you got something real quality, like how it goes down. When you got something real quality, like ProQuo, right? How are you going to stand out? How are you going to find that niche? How are you going to find that market? So I'm actually going to bring some people up here. And speaking of market, I'm going to first bring in the Angel. I think she's in the building. What's up?
Hey,
What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
I am chilling. Glad to have you back. Do you see this? Like, I feel like I'm in a smokehouse, right? Right? It's crazy. Not you. I mean, you got fire like behind you, it looks like, but I'm like in this haze, and I'm all right with it. But it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're a little hazy.
It's crazy. It's like the back. It's like it's got the the blur effect or whatever, but it's like blurred
Yeah.
me. It's like blur. Like, I feel like I'm part of the blur, but I'm rolling with it. I actually, it's
Okay.
different. It's different.
It is.
And I was just getting into my thing here. I know Slim's trying to get his I think he's trying to get his stuff in. He checked in and checked out, so I'll wait for him to jump back in.
Okay.
But now I was talking about, like, earlier. Oh, there he is. I'll bring him in and talk about it too. But I think I think we got to do a drum roll before we bring him in too. Introducing Slim Kid. Try. See that the effects. That's what I got here for a buddy. Slim Kid. Try. Pharcyde.
Woo!
Yeah. Whoops, he froze up. Right as we were trying to bring him in on the drum roll.
Oh my God! On that big moment.
He's having a little freeze because I see he's got one red bar.
Uh-oh.
we got 4 green bars. He got 1 red, so he's having a bad connection on his end. But that's cool. And it's funny because I see him frozen in time. I should give you the screenshot and see what it's like. It was not a flattering shot of him anyway, so we would not have want that up on the screen. We will wait for him to go back out. I'm gonna kick him out here because that's what you see right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and he'll be back in a sec.
All right.
He's trying to. Oh, he got 4 bars. I better get him in while the getting's good. All right, ready? Drum roll. SlimKid3.
Hey.
Oh, he froze again. Yo, this is crazy. He's back to he's back to 1 red bar, man. We teasing the people. I could kick you out and bring him in, and we can alternate. Where's he calling in from?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Road. He could be anywhere at this point.
He had the 4 bars for a second. Now he's back at one red bar. So I don't know.
That's weird. I don't know. I don't know where he is. I can text him. I can check him.
I'll give you the.
But he's trying to get in, so I don't want to distract him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see what he's saying. So he's got the link and he's getting in, but it's not connecting. Is that the problem?
He goes in for a second, and as we're about to bring him in, it's like his connection is super weak. Here, I'll give you the on your back, not your back channel, but I'm sending it to you on your IG, so maybe you can show him what we're seeing.
Okay. He said, okay.
I don't know if it'll help, but this is what I'm seeing here. So you see his bar.
Okay, I'm gonna have a look. I see you sent me a photo.
Yeah. That's how he's coming in. So that won't cut it. He'll need to get to a little better area. But we'll be good.
You might have sent it to 60 channels. Let's see.
To your Instagram, yeah, I sent it to 60 channels. Sorry, my bad.
Oh yeah, there he is. I mean, it's weird because you see him, but we don't.
Well, no, I see him with 1 red bar, and as I'm trying to send him in, it's not strong enough to bring him in. So see that little red bar he has above his blue?
Yeah.
And see how we got.
Is that his
all,
it's not
yours. That's his connectivity. So you have 4, meaning your signal's strong coming in. So usually you need like at least 1 green. He has 1 red. So, but I'm sure you know how the matrix goes. So
you know that he's that. Wait, where is it? Ta-da!
SlimKid3's in the building.
Almost. Oh my
Almost.
goodness.
He's in phone land.
Oh man. Let's see.
I have it sometimes happen with Fly. In fact, Fly has a difficult. But he's in Jacksonville, so Jackson, Mississippi. So he wherever he is at the time, it always hits that way. So let me try bringing him in, see if we can get him in this time.
Hey,
there we go.
Hey.
We had good Wi-Fi for a sec.
And he's frozen.
Here, let me try to
is there another way?
Well, I got one idea. I'm gonna kick you out for a second. I'll bring you back in. Yo. And you're unfrozen, but he's still frozen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we like the picture of him. It's cool. I mean, you gotta talk for him. We'll keep him right there. I can't kick him out even if I wanted to because he's like paralyzed. No, actually, I can. I think I can get him out. Yeah. Well, he did that. He's all right. He's moving.
He's trying again. Okay.
I can see that it's moving super slow. It's like pixelated frame, so he might not be able to
get
in. That?
So that's his connection, nothing to do with your connection, right?
Yeah.
That does happen.
Yeah, because we're strong. So.
Okay.
That's weird.
Come in.
Is he trying? He's I would say, if you're having trouble, maybe try through a laptop if you can get to one. If your phone's not doing it, sometimes it's stronger.
I'll get through my laptop.
Yeah. He keeps kicking out and kicking out. I mean, he's on for like 2 seconds and it dies. It's like.
I'll Let me just say that through your laptop.
Yeah, it might just give them a little bit of more solid signal. No, most times it doesn't matter, but um,
Let's see.
if you're in a particularly bad area, it's
Yeah.
not a bad idea.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've been everywhere. The Pharcyde. They've been touring, and every time
So
I check,
he could be
I,
anywhere.
yeah, he literally could be anywhere at this point.
Gotcha.
But going to laptop now. Okay.
Cool. That's
Giving
cool.
it a shot.
And yeah,
Oh,
use the same link. Don't tell anyone the secret link. We don't want them.
the secret link. Oh, that's cool.
We don't.
That's cool.
We don't want to leave the door open. You know what I mean?
Right
I'm gonna
on.
leave the door open. I'm gonna leave the door wide open, Trey. See what I,
I
did
love
there,
it when you
Trey?
sing. You know that. You know that.
I know you do. And I appreciate it. You know what's funny is I was just listening on my drive home, and I was out in Maryland, and from Maryland, from where I was, like 45-minute drive, and so I was listening, and it was great because my wife had headphones on, my son had headphones on, which meant I could listen to some ProQuo. That's kind of how it goes. That's how it goes down, right? Like I don't get to, even though it's my car and it's my music, it's their ears that I have to consider.
I
You know
hear
what I'm saying?
you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm listening, and we've been thinking about really hard, like what songs we want to continue to work from the album. And
right.
we have a lot going on between. We have my old crew, X-Cal. We got stuff out now. My middle old crew, Invasion. We have some stuff that we want to put out to the digital ether. And there's a lot of ProQuo stuff label-wise off the album we putting out. And the ones with me singing a little bit are the ones that are actually going to come. So we're going to try that.
Hey!
What it is.
Yo.
You did it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. You were a little in the dark, but you it's okay. You know what happens? You get that light behind you, and that's what messes up. Actually, that's what's doing it a little bit for me on my thing too.
It's as good as it gets today.
That might have to do it, right? Well, we got you.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. My I have a little light camera that I set up outside, and so when I was trying to jump on, I was running upstairs and downstairs trying to figure it out. So this is it for the day, y'all.
We appreciate the effort, man. I saw you jumping. Sometimes we get people, and they tried a couple times and they're like, man, it couldn't work. I was like, nah, you gotta move it out a little bit,
Yeah, you believe in Restream, huh?
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Believe in the Restream. We used to be on a different thing, and it was pretty cool. And they all have their pluses and minuses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
they do. Definitely.
And on the academic side, let me tell you, it's the same world. Like when you're on Zoom, when you're on WebEx, and the worst one of all. I mean, I shouldn't say it for a lot of people.
No, I just say it. Sometimes
they're definitely not sponsoring the show. Yeah.
Listen, it makes things better.
Yo,
like we don't have a suggestion box.
We gotta tell it how it is, box.
It'll never get better. Just think of it that way.
Absolutely.
You know,
and they got the money too. But I'm talking about Teams. Like Teams, nobody likes Teams. If you're working with Microsoft, like Outlook. Behind the scenes for all these email servers, it's a Microsoft product. They got Teams, right? Teams tried to put so many bells and whistles. The only thing that they really have that's cool is when you're watching the NBA and they have people sitting in the stands, and you're like, it looks like they're virtually in the stands. That's that's right. Teams.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's dope. But the way when you're using it, no one can figure out where anything is, and it's like, oh man, we're doing Teams, and I do professional development, and so I got to get faculty at our university. Like all in the same kind of place. And man, they're like, please don't put us on Teams,
Oh, wow. Right. There it is. Hey, but listen, man, like just you saying that, it's like, how will they ever know to get better or what to tweak or, you know what I mean? It could be something like super simple,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what that is. It could be like, it could blow up next year or two.
Oh, I think they're doing okay. It's just that there's the big money gets you in the door. And the product is there whether you like it or not. It's like the tweaks are going to need to be there, but it's not like I'm crying tears for Microsoft. You know what I mean? Like, they're doing okay.
Yeah. Right.
They're making
for real,
okay.
For real.
Well, we should take it back down a notch, and because Microsoft is like that's Bill Gates money, and I won't talk about. I got no problem with Bill Gates money. Let's talk about regular people money. Let's talk about like I think regular people. I think like I
Oh,
think like
the middle class is gone. So
if we
it's
like
either
who is the middle class of
right,
hip hop? That's what I want to get at. Like that's exactly where I was going with this. Like who is the middle class of hip hop? Like when you
middle
think
class.
meat and potato,
I would
middle
say middle.
class.
I would say middle school. I remember, DJ Newmark. He always says middle school, and
Mm,
middle school is basically kind of like golden era.
right.
There's old school, which I truly love, and that's what we were born on. Hip hop just turned. I don't know how old it turned,
49.
but something on the 11th. You know what I mean? So like I was kind of coasting on that, and
Mm,
even just thinking about that and feeling that, like, man, this is all because of this one magical day that happened that we're here today like this. So like that's a real blessing. Cool
absolutely.
Herc, Cool Herc, and like this is the thing about, and this is the thing about, like, how you're saying, like, the middle class hip hop or whatever
Mm,
is, the middle ground or the middle school. We still have respect and respect where things came from, and along the journey. And sometimes, like, the people that are very new, they're like super cocky and don't care about where it came from, and it's just like they in there just throwing mud on the
right.
white carpet. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Right.
okay, you guys don't get it. And I really enjoyed how difficult it was to even be a part of hip hop when we were coming in,
Mm,
because you had to respect it. And I love what LL Cool J is doing right now with Rock the Bells and
right.
carrying, just reminding us of what this is,
Mm,
and it's such a beautiful thing. And I enjoy watching him. He bigs up the old school hip hop, he bigs up the middle school hip hop, he bigs up even like some of the new stuff as well. And I feel like watching him almost like, look over the balcony of what he created,
mm,
along with, KRS Ones and the Cool Hercs and the,
right.
MC Lights. There's just so many of them to name, but it was so valuable.
Yeah, for real.
It was so valuable, and it still is valuable, and it's going in many different way avenues and ways. I enjoy all the different, like, streams of rivers that get to this magnificent sea called hip hop. you know but
Yeah.
it's some areas that's pretty dang muddy and murky. you know
When
and
I was going to say this, thinking about like when you both were coming up, right? Like think about who did you actually think about there was like I don't want to say that you want to emulate. People ask that all the time, and I think emulate sometimes is the wrong word. But I think like when you see a blueprint for how a career could go, and I mean this a
mm,
little bit less so on the artistic, but more like yeah,
okay,
this person is living a lifestyle. They are doing it the right way, or a way that speaks to me that could like
okay.
be like a role model who's in the industry, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I was, once again, LL Cool J.
Mm,
He's been in it for so long. He's made so many
that's
albums,
nothing wrong with
so
that.
many records. And you look at, what success looks like. And what success looks like to me is, how to keep on moving forward. So LL Cool J is a good example. De La Soul is another good example.
Oh yeah,
And I really love them because they've been a brotherhood that stuck together for a long time. They didn't quit. They just took breaks. That's what they told us. You know what I'm saying? And I get that. Also, Be Real from Cypress Hill.
Yeah,
These are brothers of ours that when you look at them and look at what longevity means and what it is, the foundation was super strong,
hmm
and they knew how to take care of it and maintain it. And
and a lot like
that's a
yourselves.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, well, on and off, but I mean, we had a different. We got kicked out of the boat, and we all trying to, with a little life jacket or whatever. Not no life jacket, just treading water. But it's all cool because, like I said in other interviews, the universe kind of is doing all of this,
right.
and we're just blessed to be able to be a part of it. To be honest, you know what I mean. So like, any interview that I'm on, I cannot. I don't put the cart before the horse in my life at all.
Mm,
I respect what
well
I'm
said.
blessed with. You know what I mean? Like, and I have to keep saying it because it's like if I do the other thing, I just like being blessed. I like the blessings. I enjoy the blessings. I enjoy the perks. I enjoy being able to, take care of my family with the residuals, or buy a
Mm-hmm.
house, or take my
Mm-hmm.
family on trips, or whatever. Or just like my neighbors like texting me like, "Yo, did you see you passing me by in this new
I know you were gonna say it because I saw it.
pets?"
Yeah,
You
I
know what I
saw it.
mean?
I
And I'm
saw it with
like,
my
dude,
son.
I'm
Yeah,
like, I didn't
man.
even know.
I
Like,
saw it
I
with my
want to
son.
go out to the movies and check it out. You know what I mean? So like, I am blessed. We are
I had
blessed.
literally told my
You know what
son.
I'm saying? Like, I don't have shit to say, but I am blessed.
Yeah.
I remember Busta Rhymes saying the same thing. He told me, he's like, man, I'm blessed. And just the way that he said it, it's
Mm,
just like, just feeling it all.
right.
And why? Like, I remember when he was in, Leaders in the New School, and I remember when he wasn't in Leaders in the New School. I remember we were at
Mm.
I think it was some concert in New York. Oh my goodness, it's one of those old tours that we were on, and he was just doing his solo thing. And he's coming to let us know, it's like, yo, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. And you see him on that day. And then fast forward to me and him in Australia, talking about, just more progression. And just like, he just said, I'm blessed. And it's just the way that he said it, it
Mm,
encompassed everything of saying thank you.
mm.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's an
And
amazing list
and
of people.
and now I mean, I truly feel that.
Right.
Like, just to watch, the Pharcyde energy come back around and scoop me up. Like, oh, me?
Well,
Okay. No,
do
you know
you?
what I'm saying? It's like, me, thank you, universe, bringing me back around to do
Yeah.
some more stuff. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm ready.
Angel, how
Let's
about how
cook.
about you?
You know what? I came up, I'm a Brooklyn kid. I'm a New Yorker.
Right.
So, the West Coast hip hop scene was a late addition to my world and
Right.
my life.
Self
Um,
included. Yeah.
I mean, I grew up on like ultra magnetic MCs and
Ultra. Ultra.
More Righteous Teachers and
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yep.
BDP, and
Yep.
saw them play live, and it was really something. I mean, New York back in those days. I won't go back as far as I could. Let's just say I probably have a couple of years on you, Trey. But I grew up on hip hop in New York at a time when it was
Yeah.
really like wowing. I mean, when like
Mhm.
Steezo was putting out records, and
With the red
Wow.
shoes, baby.
Classics.
PMG were putting out I got everything on vinyl too to
Mm,
this day.
Mm.
mm,
Yeah.
Um, I loved it, and then the progression to Public Enemy, and then when I was actually managed by the same management company as PE when I was living in London,
mm.
um, I was with Rush Management there,
Very
and
nice.
Dang.
you know things, watching the evolution of the sort of feel good party vibe to things that were really kind of like heavy and more kind of political and important stuff, just
Yeah.
right across the board, but all of it, loving all of it, the flavor, the vibe, and then coming to LA and signing to Delicious Vinyl and meeting Trey for the first time, just as the Pharcyde was starting to really like have success, which was so
Yeah.
exciting and brilliant time. And I remember like going to the record shops and like everybody was like, "Did you check out Cypress Hill's album?" Because I don't think
Hmm.
the bizarre ride to the far side hadn't dropped yet, but everybody was on Cypress Hill, and I was
Everybody
like,
was on Cypress.
Yeah. Yeah.
man,
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Man.
I'm
yeah,
about the same age as you guys. I came up in the same era. I opened up for Righteous Teachers when they had their first album out. When they were like, "Come and see your
Wow.
side of step." I opened up for Public
Dope.
Enemy. I know
yeah,
Steezo with the red shoes. Every single person
Man.
you name, I had their first record.
right. And
I've
I still got
performed
him.
with most of them as well.
Yeah,
And so and then when I was in DJing, well, I DJed after I was in college too. But when I first started going to college, Far Side stuff was out. And at that particular time, this is what I meant back when you said De La. Being truthful, when Potholes in My Lawn came out, I actually didn't like the
Mm.
song, which is
Okay.
crazy
That's
because
truthful.
I
That's
love the
truthful.
song now. But here's the
I
thing.
feel you.
The
yeah,
era was so crazy. What made it super lit was because you could get Adela and you could get a Busy Bone. You could a little bit later. You could get,
Yeah.
Cypress Hill. You could, you were talking about all the same Ultra Mag. Like when you listen into that stuff, they're not even remotely close, but they're all dope in their own way. But what happens is you'd have to clean your palate a little bit. Like you can't be listening to like Ultra, and then be listening to like a couple years later, like the Pharcyde, without going through your musical genres and getting there. But it was cool because that's what we did. We just were like, yo, I'm going to listen to the Pharcyde now. So I'm thinking about even putting on the records at that time. And it's funny because of YouTube really, really epitomized this. The word that always comes up, and I'm sure you hear it all the time, is eclectic, right? It's like you think of the Angel and you think eclectic production, and you think of like, wow, she's out the box, she's reaching, and you think of the Pharcyde, and especially the way y'all flow, you immediately think this sounds like nothing out there. To me, maybe Freestyle Fellowship, that's in the same breath. Obviously the Brand New Heavies thing made a lot of sense because of like they were that for the live music they did, right? But you don't see much of that now, and that's what I think a lot of us are trying to say that we missed. Do y'all miss that, or are you appreciative that you have that quality, and so that makes you think? I just wonder y'all take on that.
As we're talking about all this stuff, and I loved Potholes in My Lawn. It was like so
now I do
different. I loved it back then.
It took me a week.
It was just like it's so. Just to like kind of support what your sickness, it's like, man, it's like kind of like going into 31 flavors when you're dealing with hip hop. Right. You want to scoop of everything, like hence Black Sheep. Right. You know what I mean? Black Sheep, Tribe Called Quest, People's Instinctive Travels, like these things were, and those were close flavors but different. They were different. You know what I mean? Like Native Tongue was like, that. Man, it was just so close but different, and that's the good thing about what hip hop was, and that the lane, you know what I mean, and that's just like an area. So luckily we fell into that area, that box, of just like
I mean, it's crazy.
It's just so many parts, you know what I mean? Because
where does everyone in Pharcyde hail from?
We're from Los Angeles. I'm from South Central. Imani's from Compton. Booty Brown is from Pasadena, and Fat Lip is from Carthay.
And I think that's the most amazing thing, because all of us in the East Coast are like, yo, they gotta have East Coast roots, right?
Right. People thought that
they have to. They don't sound like anything out there. And at the time, again, being honest, we were not checking for West Coast groups like that, right? It was Freestyle Fellowship and y'all, and that's
we weren't checking for West Coast groups either. Right. Like we was big up on all the East Coast sound. Right. That's what we loved. That's what we was at. I mean, like, and I feel like the West Coast has a lot of, King T, super.
I love King T. I love Breeze. I love Kid Jazz, the Syndicate, all that too.
There's Ice-T. Like, come on, man. Like LA, West Coast is definitely, down by law for real.
Absolutely.
And it has its parts. And, and when the gangster rap stuff, was really coming into play, there was a lot of stuff that when you play it, we wasn't feeling it because it wasn't really real shit. You know what I mean? Like, because we lived there. Like, come on, and LA at the time was a place where go ahead and make you a gangster rap record and see you and cash that and see you get checked like 2 weeks later. Because LA is definitely a real place. It sneaks up on everybody. They whoop everybody get their ass whooped. You know what I mean? It's just a real place. It's a real place. It's not to be played with. And I'm glad that's why Pharcyde is Pharcyde, because our homies are real gangsters. So we're not. Right. Why would we try to do that?
Right.
Like that.
Truthfully, that reminds me a lot about Boston, actually, too. It's very similar. Being from Boston, like a lot of people, we would have to tell people a lot of times, like we go to New York and we'd be like, no, you don't understand. This squad over here that you think is make pretend, this is not make pretend. Like this, this is not like like if I'm talking about I'm gonna shoot you, it's make pretend. Like I'm talking about it because it's lyrically I'm gonna shoot you this way. I ain't
Right,
shooting no
right.
one. You know what I'm saying?
Metaphorical,
Yeah,
metaphorical. Yeah,
yeah. I might get a good shot
exactly.
into the grill, but I am not, I'm not popping anything. You know what I mean? So
Right,
it's like, but
exactly.
you need to know that this is not this is not to be played with. And like we'd have to say that a lot too. And I
Mhm.
actually have never had a problem with that. I've always respected that and respected everybody who's about that. And you just need to know the lines and know, like
Oh,
this
the
is my
lines are
lane.
definitely there.
Yep, they are there. They're in the
The
standards.
lines,
But the
the
cool
lines are
thing is,
there, and people act like they're invisible.
but the
You know
cool
what I mean?
thing is,
Like,
right. But the cool thing is, like, there was definitely a time, and I think like groups like y'all and like Angel Sound are conducive to breaking some of those lines a little bit to make it so that
oh yeah,
like you even think of like Ice-T, like you think of the Rhyme Syndicate. There were cats on his movement that was so dope. I mean, you didn't really hear about him
yeah.
before, but they like I actually just named one, Kid Jazz. I don't know if y'all remember that
Well,
dude, right? He had this
Everlast is on with Ice
absolutely.
T.
I
You
remember
know
that. Yep, I remember that,
what
and it was
you
like
know what I mean?
the flavors were so different, and it would be acceptable now to like throw on this next record or listen to this cat, and
Hmm.
that's like now it's more like just regional pockets where you got like this camp's going to work with this camp, and occasionally someone will sneak in, right? And
Yeah.
this camp's work with this camp, but occasionally someone will sneak in. It felt like at that time that it wasn't unusual to see the most crazy collaborations, right? Again, with that word, eclectic, and
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
that's why y'all are doing these kind of eclectic kind of remixes and bringing it all together. So
Yeah.
what's the plan with this record, man? Let's, because not everybody necessarily knows what we're talking about. And just to state it off the top here, the Angel, aka 60 Channels, SlimKid3, they are, I'm not going to say it all, but I'm just basically just kind of give a recap here. They got a track, and we're gonna play that track too. So when we get into it, I want to make sure that we give the full story of how it goes down. I mean, I feel like I know it because I've heard the Angel enough and been, I'd say, graced by the presence of this song a little bit early. So and it's so cinematic, yo. And so that's like I want to get into like the meat and potatoes of like, yo, was that the plan to make this record cinematic, or is it just cinematic and now that's just going to be, hopefully use your word, Trey, it's going to be a blessing, because I could see this thing being all over the place when we start talking about
I'm
cinematic records.
definitely gonna let you talk, Angel, because I feel the same way about you, and I'll let you talk first. Go ahead.
Okay. So, we have a pretty long history of collaborating and I have to really say that I'm really, speaking of gratitude, I'm really grateful that we met at the time that we did, Trey, and that, going back to the very beginning, which is where, we were label mates on Delicious back in the 90s. The first thing that I got to lay my hands on was Other Fish, Far Side of the Fish,
Yep.
and to remix that. And at the time, of course, acid jazz was a big thing. And so I came from the UK, where I was part of that sort of acid jazz wave of artists. And so I really got what they were doing and found a kind of interesting way to rework that track.
Mm.
And then from there, we've done other songs together. Trey's featured on a track of mine called Make It Better, which is on the Angel album, No Gravity. And that track, we actually performed that on national TV. We were on the Late Late Show with Craig Kilburn. It was back not long after 9/11. It was a really crazy time. And
Wow.
Once
yeah,
again.
so we were all a bit shell shocked at that point.
Mhm.
But we
And now,
did.
how does that happen? Does he just like call you up and be like, "Yo, I need y'all on the show"? Like you can't just jump over that. That's huge. Like, how does
Yeah,
that happen? I
that
mean, I'm
was
sure
I
Trey,
think that
that's
was
all hat, but I mean, for the rest of us who are
no.
in that middle bottom quarter, like, yo, if we get a call from Craig or any of those kind of people, it's like, yo,
I
that's
think that
game
was I
changer.
think that was an angel hookup.
it
Of
was.
course it is. Of
Yeah.
course it is.
I mean, well, the thing is, sometimes you just get lucky as a super independent artist on my own tiny little label. I mean, after Delicious, I went completely on my own. And believe me, it has not been an easy road to
Oof, yeah,
you know. So I mean, when you're just kind of putting out records and you're just doing absolutely every inch of it by yourself and
Mhm.
self-funding it without funds, basically,
It's no fun.
it's no fun,
Without
exactly.
funds, it's no fun.
It's really shitty. So I mean, basically,
Yeah, it's just
we got lucky. We got very lucky that somebody we knew really loved us and had a connection to the show. And they said, you know what? And I think somebody because of what was going on, you couldn't travel. Right after 9/11, it was only about it was a month later that we did that show, and I think someone couldn't actually make it in, and they said, you know what, there's a slot open, you want to grab it? And we were like, yeah. I mean, we weren't touring, we weren't doing any of that stuff, but we were just like, yes. And DJ Drez came and joined us. So the three of us, Drez was on turntables and I was on keyboards and Trey was rocking the leads. And
I was on Remember Your Lyrics.
Yes, you were, and you did really well.
That's always the tough part.
Thank goodness.
But I mean, so these are like the stepping stones that got us. So the next crazy thing I did, speaking of eclectic, ideas and thoughts and music, is that I always had this connection to the UK still, and I started to really get into jungle and drum and bass, and I was DJing it as well, like headlining at 2, 3 in the morning, like crazy nonsense like that. And I remember playing some of it to Trey, or at least mentioning it to you and saying, hey, I'm going to do something. Do you want to take a punt on something like this really different? And luckily, you're so open-minded and cool and open to experimentation that the very first original version of how it goes down is a jungle track. And it's a feel-good, upbeat kind of vibe, completely the opposite of what I just did with the track now. So, it's, but I always, and it's funny, and I've done this with Mystic as well, where, we do a track and she'd want to sing on it. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Because I kind of like opened the door for her to start singing on, and she was adamantly against it to begin with. And then she was just like, oh, I really love doing this. And then that was it, So sometimes she would want to sing on things. And I'd be like, I really want you to rhyme. So we do like 2 versions of things. And, cool. And come at it from a very different way. So like Destiny Complete, there's a singing version of Destiny Complete, which is also on my first album, No Gravity. And then there's the Bittersweet version, which is her rhyming all the verses. And, and then I felt like that was the complete picture that I had in my mind. So we have all bases covered. But with this track, because it was this like kind of upbeat, feel good track, I was like, but lyrically it's heavy. And it's, it's imbued with like some heft. So I really wanted to tackle the music from a different standpoint completely. And in doing so, I actually took out the singing part of the chorus and created a sort of anthemic thing that is completely different. And I love this version. I mean, I love both versions for completely different reasons, but I really love this. Every time we hit that chorus, I'm just like, yes, it just feels good to me.
So then this is not like, some people have a remix that was the original. Like this definitely is the remix of your original work then, not the other way around, right?
It is. Oh yeah. Because we're talking about like the original came out in 99.
Yeah, right. Just want to make sure I had that right, because I've been saying it that way. So I'm like,
okay. No, you're right. You're right on point. But the interesting thing is that this feels right for now. This feels, just, and it feels like a completely different track to me. I mean, it everything about it is so completely different, and it's trippy, and it is cinematic, and I could completely picture it. And I've had so many people say the same thing, like, oh my God, I can see this in the next Matrix movie. I can see this in the next Blade.
See, that's it. I heard, I was in a room with you when someone said Matrix thing. I think that was on Clubhouse.
Yeah,
and it was exactly what I was thinking. You probably remember me saying to you that I see it like, not like a dark alley necessarily, but like you coming around a corner and like the air from the sewers coming up kind of thing. And it's like, like someone's getting into it in the thick of the night. It's like, you don't know. It's like the thrill and the excitement of something's about to pop off, but you're not exactly sure what it is.
The montage, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, it seeps in on you, and and Trey, hearing you rhyme on it, I mean, it's like that's why I asked, because you could feel you almost playing the part. You know what I mean? It's like, it feels like you getting in character, and I'm like, cool. Ooh, this sounds, I wouldn't have thought that was you when I heard you, I'm like, oh, that's him. I'm like, yo, that means dude must act. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh man.
Well, speak that into existence, because we are just cutting together.
That's where it's at, man. That's where it's at.
We're cutting the video right now, so we're at that point. We're really close. I just output something today that I want to run it by you first. But
okay,
we'll
check it out.
but
Breaking news.
but the
Breaking
whole
news.
the whole thing is really Trey because he's so compelling to watch. You
Right.
know, it's like there's something really powerful about watching you speak those lines, you know, say those words, rather than just hearing it, because then we get we get all the energy from that, you know, and the meaning. And I think it's really cool. I love it. We're not cutting away from you much. And I know
At
like,
all.
what do you mean? But it's
Nah.
like, I mean, you know, and we've tried to do that as much
But it
as
feels
possible.
like, you know, from just
But
a
it's
late
cool.
watching Standing Back, right? It's like, you know, you think about, you know, you get a brief or whatever, or you get whether you making a commercial, you're doing whatever. It's like, okay, this is the description, this is what I got to do. It feels like y'all wrote your own brief, and you know what I mean. It's not because you weren't doing it for like a specific thing, but you can feel you in the pocket and the character of what that song called for. You can
Oh
the
yeah.
way it's even, you know, even the on the production tape, like you can hear the sort of radio effect, but it's not too heavy, you know, so it doesn't make it sound like it's this
Mhm.
crazy long distance kind of, you know, far away in the ether thing. It's still front and center, and you're like, yo, this is the perfect sound you'd want it for the perfect blend where you don't lose the rapper, but the rapper's not taken away from the track. And when the rapper comes in, you're like, yo, what's going on now? You know, so
That's what's
that's
up. I
it's perfect,
appreciate
you
that,
know?
man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
absolutely.
that. Yeah, man. I
Perfect.
mean, like I love my telephone sound though.
No, that's what I'm saying, but it's
I
like
love that
it's the
telephone sound.
right
I
sound
feel
though.
like
You know what I mean?
I've never like even like when I get off with you guys and I jump back into recording, it's something about that telephone voice or that effect I love. I
Radio,
love it.
CB,
It cuts
telephone thing.
through.
Yeah.
It just cuts through perfectly for a lot of reasons, you know. And I just
Yeah.
love it. You know, I held on to it for such a long time, and I think it came from
Mm,
the other fish sound. You know what I mean? Like all of
mm.
that.
Mm.
Yep.
And I guess that would just be my go-to voice.
That's crazy.
You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
crazy. Yeah, it's
You
crazy.
mean man
But
with a
but in a,
megaphone kind of deal, you know?
yeah,
It's
but
cool.
in a even more but it has you in a more serious vein. Like it's like it has you in a more, I don't know if that's serious is the right word, but it's like um pertinent is the best
I,
way to say it. Like, it
I
sounds
think
like
I think
urgent.
you know what? I think I was in an urgent mindset back then because Angel had caught me during the times where I was recording my Legend of Phoenix project
Mm,
and
Yes.
my Liberation project. So yeah, you're definitely gonna get a lot of. I was like kind of going through like a super freedom fighter mentality, like the
right.
things that I wrote about, and then plus the guy that was in office, I was like, man, I put my boxing gloves on,
Mm,
trying to fight for the people in the best way that I knew how. I remember being on tour with Michael Franti a lot, and we were protesting the Iraq war at the time.
mm.
You know what I mean? And I mean, like we were going hard. So like that's where my mind was at.
Okay. Oh, it's dope.
I wasn't about the shenanigans. I wasn't
Yeah.
about the person that was supposed to be representing, us,
Right.
the U.S. or whatever,
Right.
and just in general. And I feel like nothing has changed, and it's mentally I'm in a. It's still the same fight, but a different day. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And just like kind of and a different maturity level of where I'm at. You got to just handle this whole thing at in a different way, in a different pace. And it's like, how do I go about getting my particular message across
mm,
of peace, of course. You
mm.
know what I mean? And just get some good out of this while we're here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, can we just really get on a good pacing? Can we really
Mm.
just get on a good track? Is it really that serious that we got to go through all of these different loops and changes and struggles? Like we just really don't. You know what I mean? And so when you're young, you got a lot of energy to scream and all that. When you get older, you're like, yo, fuck all of that. I just need to really resonate, just really be a peaceful person myself, and just like deal with what's around me.
Right.
And just like on Make It Better, change your heart and shape the weather, change your mind and make it better. I'm looking at the comments right now
Mm.
because I've always believed that, and here we are at this moment. So that urgency, you're definitely going to hear that during that time. It will definitely sound different now, but yeah, back then, that's exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, no
Absolutely.
doubt. That's amazing. That's incredible. Like substance to that to give some of us, who weren't there rocking with you a little bit of the picture because you can feel it. It's palatable, and Even the I mean, I don't want to get too. I know y'all are pushing this on, but it's great to just be able to build with y'all and talk about on the whole wide scope of things. But the track itself, it's like I would call it like not an anthem. I think anthem is too almost I don't know. It just feels like anthem feels like a different vibe, but it definitely feels like a soundtrack to liberation. You can hear that in it. And
That's cool. That's
yeah,
cool. I
yeah,
do feel like, like we could have a flag, some kind of flag or some kind of banner that we like kind of like, you know,
yep.
for the angel, you know what I'm saying? Because that's exactly what was going on during that time. This is how it goes
I gotta
down.
ask her
You
about
know what I
this
mean?
too. Like she got
Yeah.
60 channels. She got 60 channels rocking right in the middle there. So what's good
Uh-huh.
with this 60 channels? Let the people know what you do, Angel, because we just glossing right over the fact you get that 60 channels banner right there. We haven't said too much on it.
I mean, there was a point at which I wanted to do more than just down tempo and trip. Like I was one of the pioneers of trip hop, as well as all the early kind of amalgamations of hip hop that I was cooking up in the early days.
Right.
And I really wanted to do some drum and bass. And at the time it was kind of like I didn't really want to confuse my audience, so I came up with 60 channels, and I was like, and with this, I'm gonna involve vocalists from the alternative realm.
Okay.
So I've got like Angie Hart, who was the lead singer of a rock band called Frente from Australia. I actually
Okay.
remixed the Frente track, and that's how we wound up meeting. And she, to this day, it's a long time ago. To this day, we're still good friends. Monday Michiru, who was based in Japan at the time, but she's American, Japanese, and Italian. I mean, from unbelievable pedigree of jazz musicians. Her mother's a legend. Her stepfather is Lou Tabakin, who actually played on the Donald Byrd remix that I did for Blue Note years ago. I mean, there were just a lot of like interesting kind of just people coming from completely different places. Navigator MC, who is a jungle MC to this day, absolutely killing it on the jungle scene in London. And I'm just trying to think everybody else, like, Karen Grant and DJ Collage and my cousin Rain Phoenix. I mean, everybody comes from a completely different area of music that they make by themselves. And of course, Trey,
So this is like a pen name for an engineer and a producer.
I mean, essentially, it's my baby, and I produce everything. I produced all the Angel material. I produced every 60 channels track. They're all my crazy ideas, which is why, believe me, I am grateful when people are like willing. My creative friends are willing to go down that path with me and trust me to take them somewhere different that they're
They
not going to
wouldn't
be.
have gone. Yeah.
Instead they're kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. Let's do that again.
I
So
mean, let's be completely real. Like you're the professor. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like we're in your laboratory. Like there's no way in hell that I would come into your laboratory and start trying to touch the knobs and buttons and you know what I mean? It's like I'm there, at your wish is my command. What do you need? You know what I mean? We're on your spaceship. Let's go. You know what I mean? And so that's exactly what you got. You like in this cauldron, we have 60 channels. And here's what it is. This is the layout. You know what I mean? Everybody knew the assignment. You know what I mean? And that's the beautiful thing that like I wouldn't ever want to interrupt the flow of what's going on in her mind about how she foresees this thing coming about. Like we were definitely a part of your dream. Like my dream is Pharcyde. So anything that I have coming into my dream, like we're sifting and sorting to what it's going to be. You know what I mean? Because we can see the vision. Like that's complete fuckery. They just come into your spaceship and start pushing buttons. No, that would be to a disadvantage for you not to be able to express fully your vision. That's not my purpose on 60 channels. My purpose
I do
on 60
wonder.
channels is to be there and listen to where she wants it to go, and get on that surfboard and ride like I'm supposed. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all an amusement. It's all an amusement park to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we're over here. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like so. She's the professor. She's always been the professor. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was for 60 channels or the Angel or all of that, everything. You know what I mean? So and just to lean back into her cinematography kind of sound and everything,
Mm.
like that is so your thing. That is
Yeah.
just you. That I mean, like, I don't see you not having something in movies all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then, lastly, as far as Jungle is concerned, yeah, Angel, I think you were the one that introduced me to Jungle.
Right on.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? No, really. I mean, like the drum and bass, all of that,
It was early. Yeah, it was very early
all of
for
that. You know what I
Americans.
mean?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
to help us to understand what it is, it's like, and you don't know
I
what
have
it
a
is
heavy blind
until,
spot for it too. Like I'm
hey,
like when I hear jungle or dubstep or drum and bass, like all kind of thrown in, like
hey,
I don't
listen,
know
and
exactly where it is, you know?
listen, all of it is shit compared to when you go to London and you are in
Right.
a drum and bass party and you get to see it, you get to feel it, you get to, man,
Yeah.
this is beyond me.
Mm.
And it just takes over. It literally takes over. So
Yeah.
like, it's really funny is like to go to like these different raves and stuff like that and
Yeah.
EDM, all that shit. And it's like,
The junior stuff.
yo, it's like, what the fuck is
It's like
this
the
watered
cotillion.
down
Yeah.
shit? You know what I
Right.
mean? In
Right.
comparison to, the London and Manchester, and like you have not been to a
Until you do
bomb
their
ass
drum and
party
bass. Yeah.
until
Yeah.
you've been there,
Yeah.
literally, because they don't take shit, they don't want shit music, and they're in a vibe, they're in a zone so deep that you would actually have to go there to understand how to
Mm.
even rap on some music like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
I still don't know how to. It might sound like I like the stuff that I did with you, Angel. That's blessed. But to hear like a Navigator or Dynamite or
Yeah.
whatever, some
Yeah.
real drum and bass like
Yeah.
in Jungle
Yeah.
MCs,
Yeah.
they ride that. They ride that. Ooh man, they
Oh,
whip it
believe
into
me.
shape
Absolutely. I mean,
because
when
it's
I
it's
was,
it's everything.
it is.
And man, thank goodness for hip hop that have opened the lane for us to be as creative in all these different ways.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
This is
when
you know what I mean? Like just to be in full respect of the lane. Like I'm in a lane that's not my lane.
Mhm.
You know what I
And I'm in
mean?
the lane that I'm creating because I'm not in any specific lane.
Exactly. I know
You
you.
know, I'm
Exactly.
just like,
Don't call me
I'm going
nothing.
here.
like
You
like
want to come with
like
me?
don't
Let's
call me.
go.
Don't box me. Don't put me in a box.
That's right. No
That's why you're
boxes.
the professor, dude. We know.
But
I know.
it's
I know what I'm dealing with.
it's very cool. I mean, when I scored Kidulthood, which is a British feature that became a huge hit, um, it was all UK hip hop and grime, and like again, I grew up on American hip hop, and where we all have a certain kind of thing about like feeling proprietary about that. But I have to say, like it really I love new things. I love all the subgenres. I love the fact that in the UK there are new genres literally like almost weekly. It's unbelievable. Whereas
Mm.
here, it's all about how homogenous can we be because everybody is so afraid to step outside of a particular sound. Not you guys, not me, but a lot, there's a lot of pressure, especially on artists who sign to major labels to sound like something else because then they can just take someone else's name out of that
Right.
marketing plan and plop your name in there and not have to think too hard about what to do with you. I get
Yeah.
that, but it doesn't
It's a
excite
machine. It's literally a
me, right?
machine. They're just pumping out whatever the fuck they pump yogurt.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
it's
mean,
dangerous because it's
You
like
know what I mean? It's like
you unless you speak on it, it's like some of the we talk sometimes to younger listeners and say the same thing. It's like unless you get a chance to really think of it systematically, like what's happening. It's like if you got like let's use a Far Side, right? If you got a Far Side who starts to acquire fan base, clout, respect, a name, if you're that label, are you really encouraged to keep pumping into the Far Side if you believe there's another version of it that you can make cheaper and push out the people who'd be able to drive up the price? It's like, and a lot of times you see this from the labels. They'll be like, okay, we're going to try, we'll work you for a bit. We'll work you for a bit. But as soon as we think that we have somebody else who's maybe a little younger, a little cheaper, a little less
mhm,
mature, a little less seasoned, and we can
mhm.
stick that right back into the market and they won't know the difference, then you've just saved a lot of money. It's like at baseball and basketball, and
And you know
football. It's
what?
like get rid
And,
of get rid of the old folk and bring in the young
and
folk who can
yeah,
do it.
and
Who
funny you
aren't there
say
yet.
that is because it has been done, and the result is it really just falls to the ground
Yeah.
because the beautiful thing about us Pharcyde is we're like the purest form of us. It's
There's
like,
no other
just like
Pharcyde though. That's the thing. Like
De
there's
La
no other
Soul is
Pharcyde.
De La
Never.
Soul is the purest form of itself.
Yeah.
Beastie Boys is the purest form of itself.
Mhm.
Run DMC is the purest form of it. Like
Yep.
we were the purest form of
Yeah.
ourselves. Like, and it's cool. Like there's nobody can take our lane.
No.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because we're just really unfiltered. Like I even like there's folks that are out now that are super dope, and it reminds me of when we were young. Um, oh my God, Tyler the Creator.
Sure.
Uh, what I mean? What? Oh my God,
Yeah,
I can't.
that's a good comparison.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like Earl
Yeah.
Sweatshirt and all those guys, like
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing. Yep.
looking at their videos and all that stuff, and I was like, that was us. We were just
Yep.
bananas. We were like uncontrollable. You know what I mean? Like we were like so many things, and you know, and they are them and doing a beautiful job of it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I got to big up Razkaz's sons too, Contra,
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Coast Contra, like just to look at them and just to feel that energy. They are
Yep.
them,
Yep.
and just to watch them, it feels like a young us.
Blue
You
and
know what I
Exile.
mean?
I don't know if you heard them. They remind me
I
a little
know.
bit.
Yep, I
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
I know about Blue and
Yeah.
Exile and all that
They
stuff
have
too.
a little Pharcyde in them too.
Mhm.
And that's and you know what? And all that's cool. We have a little De La Soul in us.
Sure.
We have a little Tribe Called Quest in us. We have a lot Beastie Boys for sure. We have a lot of those things in us that make us, but it's still not us because we're
It's not.
fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
We're
It's not.
literally
You got a
bizarre. Like
dab of that, but it's
just
like
to
a
look
whole
at the
lot of
name,
Pharcyde. Yeah.
right? Just to look at the name of our first album, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side. We're
Yeah.
really bizarre as fuck.
What would a new Pharcyde album over Angel Beats sound like? That's what I'm wondering.
You know
What would the
what?
whole
I
collective sound like?
honestly, I don't even know. I
Hmm.
don't even know. It would be Angel remixing shit that we already did, to be honest.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it would be hard for Angel to work with us because we're not easy. We're really not easy to work with. You know what I mean? Like
When you say we, is it you or is it someone else specifically? Like
um
who's?
You are easy.
me no me
He said me. He said me.
me too, but like I took where our heads are is, man, it's very complex. I don't think Angel, I don't think you had a patience for all of us.
Hmm.
That's
You know what I
okay.
mean? No,
Yeah,
no, like literally.
I hear you.
So that said, it's like, LAJ is from the very beginnings of us,
Yes.
and so
Yes.
we would land with him, and as far as our understanding, as far as like he can say something to us, and it could sound offensive, but it's like creative, constructive, criticism,
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we can take that
Yeah.
and understand that our shit stinks and this verse sucks, and all of that, and then get on the right track, and then
Right.
get in a right lane to actually make a hit record, just
Hmm.
one.
Yeah.
You
You'll do
You know
guys
what
it.
I mean?
It's coming. I could feel it.
You guys have an interesting character quality too, and I'll give you a funny story. This happened today. Dude was talking about the show and talking about my music or whatever, and he's like, "Yo, you guys do the show on Fridays, right?" I was like, "Yo, you should check it out tonight." I was like, "Yeah, the Angel and SlimKid3." He's like, "Of course I know." And so here's why, right? This is funny because he's a hip hop dude, but he's not a hip hop dude like that. He actually works for the State Department, right? And I forgot this fact about him, right? And he goes, "Yo, the dopest Ethiopian, bro." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, homie's Ethiopian." So to him, that was like the greatest line ever said in the history of hip
Yeah,
hop. He's like,
yeah,
"Yo, they put Ethiopia on the map, bro." And what
it's for
it,
real,
it's
for real.
hilarious, yo, bro. What I was gonna say about that is y'all have an interesting way of saying a couple words or a whole line that just sticks out by its own. You know what I mean? It isn't even like like you'll get like a couplet and you'll know like the whole thing. Nah, they'll be like people will be like, the dopest Ethiopian. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Yeah,
how rare is that people can spot check you on 2 to 3 words. They'll just be like, boom, and y'all got a whole bunch of them. Saying off that entire album.
you know what, and that's cool. That's such a blessing. That's such a blessing for sure.
That's a skill, man. To be able to
That's
and
another
it hit
area
right on the
of
beat
me
on the right
being
place, and you're like,
thankful.
it's in my head forever, yo. I can't get that out, you know?
Yeah, man. I think we usually call things as we see it. You know what I mean? And I remember listening to De La Soul, and they had so many like kind of like inside jokes
Weird phrases that would sound like, right?
in
Yeah.
their record, and their whole deal. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until we started hanging out with them and check, and being being a part of the lingo is like,
Mm,
oh, that's what y'all was saying.
now I got you.
Damn, that shit's like, oh, crazy, and it fits perfect. It makes a complete total sense because you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
I don't know. So that's kind of little areas that we might have fallen into as well. You know what I mean? And quotables like Fat Lip has a lot of quotables. I think because it's just because we're philosophers too.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
each one of us has our own, and I can't take it from none. Like I'm my own. I feel like so Imani is like
All
kind
I
of
can
like
do
the
is stare. I mean, just like, just even the melodic parts at the right time, like out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like y'all would be like,
yeah. We
and you
riding
all
that.
pretty
Listen, we
melodic,
riding that
obviously
feeling,
you,
man.
but
We riding that feeling.
oh,
We
bro, it was
riding
just
the feel.
out of nowhere.
That's how
You,
these songs are made. We riding the feelings. You know what
mm,
I mean? And they
yeah.
just really because it's honesty. It's just being honest. And if we
Yeah.
could like, we're just like letting out little honesties that everyone can relate to. You know what I mean? Like,
See Jonathan's comment to y'all's point. Flip fly,
so
kite, you soaring sky high. I'll let you say
butterfly, yeah, butterfly slip, watch you up fly, drip my
it.
eyes cry tears. Fear of baby seagull, eagle, baby eagle, seagull shit falls quicker than a. Yeah, that's when when
Ooh.
you too high on your own shit. When your ego gets you so high, and you just missed the whole damn point.
Mm,
Mm.
mm,
Eagle shit falls quicker than a local hero. Zero
mm.
from zero means nothing. Now ain't that something? And all this time you've been wanting something for nothing. The crew has pushed your button because your frame is on recall. The homies kick the fact because it's whack to let you fall. Brothers don't want you rolling in the hood to niggas that don't want you. And you fucked, crazy fucked, like the slut, have the hunter. Won't be the one to punch your shit. I know you get the boot with the cars and the girls and the eagles and the loot, chief. I made this brief. I'd be lying through my teeth if I told you you was dope and the benefits. Oh, come on, man.
That's
Because it's
hot, man.
real. I'm talking to my
Love that.
friends.
Jonathan just said it too. He's like, love that verse. Yeah.
Yo, I'm spitting game to my friend that I love so much. Like, yo, I'm just trying to get him back on the right track.
Mm,
That's all we ever trying to do. We slapping each other hard as fuck back to the right track. Get your shit together, homie, because I love you.
mm,
Mm.
Know what I
mm.
mean? That's all it is. That's all this shit is, and that's why it resonates, and because our homies, they that same verse that I'm saying, somebody, my homies are saying it to me.
Mhm.
Oh shit! I didn't realize I didn't have my shit together over there. Thanks, homie.
Yo, we gotta get into this first, man. We gotta get into this how it goes
Let's
down.
go.
So yeah, we gonna run that. And where do you suggest people check for this, man? I know it's available on all platforms. Is there any place we want to send them in
Angel,
particular?
Angel.
Well, it would be really nice if people do actually want to just like add it as a playlist on Spotify.
Yes,
That would be
yes.
that wouldn't be a bad place. Apple Music too,
Hmm.
but it's also on Bandcamp if they actually want to purchase it or listen. You could just listen, for a few times on Bandcamp too. But it's everywhere. Yeah, it really is. Except
Absolutely.
it's not on one of these, unfortunately.
Uh,
Oh, what's that? What's that? Okay, okay. Don't be teasing us. Is it coming
you
on
know,
one of those? Because that's some
you know
Angel
how to
back in the
do it.
day, right there, right?
Angel know
This
what
is
you
back
got to do.
this is this is vinyl. Not like you couldn't tell, but
That's crazy.
that's my debut album, and that was what Make It Better is on. That's what a lot of the kind of classic the Angel
Yo,
material.
I just broke mine. It fell off my
You're
wall.
gonna have to. You definitely
Check
gonna
it
have to
out.
press up some copies, Angel, because when that's what whenever we're out and about on the road, like
Yeah,
DJs are asking for vinyl. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
they're always asking
I know.
for some vinyl. So
Again, I mean, for a while it wasn't like that. Now it's back in
I
fashion.
know it's back. It's really interesting. You
I
know.
Yeah.
I dropped mine. I don't know. Oh, you can't see it because it's all. It's yeah, I can't see it because it's on the whatchamacallit. Look, it's shattered
Oh,
glass. I broke it off.
Oh,
Fell off the wall. You heard it right there, right? You heard
oh
ours?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
classic.
literally.
damn.
I came
You
down and I was
dropping
like,
gems.
oh, I dropped. Yeah, dropped something for real right there. Oops. But
All to the good, man.
yeah. So let's get into this and yeah, check it out. Apple Music. Get it on your local playlist. Your Spotify favorite.
Yeah.
This is how it goes down, and this is the Angel, aka 60 Channels, and SlimKid3. Let's run it.
This is how it goes down. How it goes, my man. Life is like a crap game, dealing with poker hands. Aces is wild when you're dealing with jokers, jacks, and queens selling soul for crack. Too late to react. A natural Similac had the world strung way out. They never came back. Tried to fight for the things that they lack, but green was color for counterattack. This is how it goes down. This is how it goes. This is how it goes down. This is how it goes. I need enough respect. This is how it goes down. Yeah. I was sitting at home cutting side deals with God so my life could be sweeter. Even the odds, check my meters, make sure the time don't defeat but complete it. Due to hard times in the streets, see I be on this bandstand. How it goes, my man. Life is like a crap game and folded up poker hands. Aces are wild when you're dealing with jokers and jacks, and queens selling souls for feedback. This is how it goes down. This is how it goes. This is how it goes down. This is how it goes down. I need enough respect. This is how it goes down. Riding up against the grain to maintain. Was always on the mind, becomes heavy on the brain. Easy to see through these window panes. Over and over and over again. I'm wide-eyed and bushy tail in the rain. Easy to be true, but hard to explain. Hard to be you through my picture frame. Been through the times many times and kicked many rhymes about the time. The time that overlapped with the time that I had to spend. The time that I spent within. My friend, poker hands, jokers and jacks, and queens, banks. This is how it goes down. This is how it goes. This is how it goes down. This is how it goes down. I need enough respect. This is how it goes down. And the legend is SlimKid3. This is how it goes down. 60 channels and the legend. This is how it goes down.
This is how it goes down. This is how it goes down. Yeah, man. We had to run that full thing for real, for real.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
I
you
was,
know,
I was just using my imagination of what movie it was in. You know what I
oh
mean?
man.
Like
You know what? What do you got? What did you
Batman.
get one? Did you go? Oh,
Well,
Batman. Yeah,
mine
yeah,
was
yeah.
like I had a Batman scene, you know, like him flying through this, you know, through the city, just the cape, you know what I mean, kind of deal.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
crazy thing would be is if they
Big.
got you in the movie as well. You know what I'm saying? Like a movie come out,
Or
you gotta have a
yo,
cameo in that. Be
well,
the
that'd be
dude like
dope.
walking. You know what I'm saying? And be like, yo,
Uh-huh.
like ask him of the time or something. Yo,
That'd be cool. That, or if there was another X-Men, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm with you, bro.
I'm gonna keep on saying stuff like this.
That's right. Just put it out into the universe as much as possible.
I got my DC my
Put it into
DC
the
shirt on
existence.
today.
You know,
You
all
got,
right.
you gotta go back. Yeah, man. You got to picture it. You got to picture it sometimes.
No,
Paint the
it's. I
picture
mean,
for someone else to see it.
it's really just there. It's
Yeah.
So
kinda,
obvious.
you
So
know,
obvious.
just I like the. And I was listening to the EQ of like the, you know, the panning vocals
Yes.
and stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And how
60
crispy they cut
channels.
through. You know what I mean? I'm listening to you. I'm listening to your editing.
I'll tell you. I know. I mean, honestly, I
You
can't.
found space for a lot of things in there.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It's waiting for the action, the movie action to go across the top of it during that big. That's like because it was a big like chunk of space where it's.
I had to get the movie popcorn just for y'all, cause just to, I mean, cinematic. I was just like,
It's
I'll
very
I had the
tell you,
popcorn ready.
Yeah, exactly.
it was about a 6-minute track at least, and I literally was like, okay, this is just too long. I mean, not for me, it isn't.
You
I'm
left
like,
room for people to visualize.
You were
yeah,
like, screw this 2-minute and 30-second genre thing that
I had
we
to
in
get
these
it down.
days.
Like, it was like 4:47, I think, and even that is a little long. But in today's world, but it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
But you get all the changes because it goes through a lot of really interesting changes. And you
Yeah.
know what you're doing is so, you know, it's so free and kind of you're moving over here and then you're moving over there, and it's like I just love it. I mean, I love what you do.
It's literally just waiting for some film to go across it during those times. So you're watching it and then you hear it in the background. This is how it goes down. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
some awesome fight scene, or you know, somebody sliding over the front of a car.
I'd say with Angel's hands, it's in good hands. She might have a something up the sleeve here and there. A few people that she just might know. You know.
Yeah, we're definitely pushing it out there. We're pushing it out there for the right.
Come
I know
on,
that stuff
y'all.
takes a long time, but I'm sure. Hey, that's a good thing about that song because it is
Listen,
gonna be
it's
like, yo,
there,
it ain't gonna be
it's
cool next week. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
it's coming. I don't, you know, whenever it gets here, you know, it's like waiting for a Pop-Tart. As soon as the toaster go ding, yep, I already knew it. I'm ready to eat.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what's oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I mean, I feel like enough people have said it without me asking or saying anything or just looking for the feedback, but that it's come back a bunch of times. And even when I ran it by you, Trey, and I said, what do you think after all these years? What do you think of this? And you were like, yeah, you know, I mean, and you felt that cinematic vibe about it. And it is in there. I mean, I spent a lot of time adding little touches to kind of build like that. I think it's the third.
Yeah, I can hear all of it. Like everything is just like, come on, man.
I was playing.
You know what I mean?
I was shooting to it in the gym. I was playing basketball
Really?
in the gym. Yeah, and then
all of that.
I made a little post on it, and then I re-put it on, like, because you couldn't hear the
right
audio,
on.
right? But I was actually shooting to the song, like through. I have two phones, right? So I got this phone here and this phone here, right? So I had one of them was recording, one of them was actually playing, but you ain't gonna really hear it, even though I had it right next to it. So I'm like, let me put this back, because to me, when it came on, this is the truth. The song came on and I forgot what it was, and I don't know if you ever had that feeling, but I went, oh, like when I heard it. It's like that. How do I know that? But it's so dope that it's like it makes you shiver. You know, it's like, oh, I'm like, oh, that's Angel's joint right there. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, that's what that is. And then I'm waiting for the rhyme to come in. You know, I'm like, okay, all right. And I'm like, yo, this is basketball. This is basketball. Like, it doesn't seem like the classic song, but I was like, I could see the whole scene in the gym practicing shooting shots.
I can see all of that.
And you get it. You know, this is how it goes down. I'm watching the baskets go in, and I'm like, this is how it goes down. I'm like, yo, that's another use right there.
Steph Curry with the 3.
Absolutely. I got a little shot. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah. So I was like, yo, watch them go in, baby. But
there you go. It's got that celebratory kind of like winning kind of vibe when you hit that chorus.
That's how it goes down.
I'm with all of it.
That's how it
Yeah.
goes down,
With
man.
all
You
of
got
that.
to paint the vision. You got to paint the vision so someone else can see it.
It's paint itself. It's so cool, man. Like I'm just sitting back laughing. Like that's
That's why I
cool.
got the popcorn, man. I'm trying to paint the scenario. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But I mean, I love, like we've been really playing around with the video, and again, like your performances, I should say, are really, really good, and so, and there's like ways of kind of just playing with the visuals almost as not quite as crazy as I do with audio, but, just trying to kind of accentuate those moments, with a little
Mm-hmm.
something, a little something, something.
Wait.
It's cool.
All right, stop. Time out. I didn't put this together. So you direct as well?
Not really. I mean, no.
You know what? This, I mean, like
Ish.
this is very grassroots. It's very like, yo,
Yeah.
let's get this, let's get this popping for, for this,
Gotcha.
situation. And
Yeah.
in the time that we had, the crunch and the availability and all that stuff is what this is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, there's so many ways to do, to do things, but it's just where we're at right now, the technology versus the time, like if I could be in LA, it'd be a different thing, you know what I mean? As opposed to I'm on the road and it's just busy, you know what I'm saying? So, but I really dig what happened. I really dig what happened, and how Angel has put it together and stuff like that. I can't wait to see the other part too.
Well, what's interesting is that, this is how I started making music. Like, I started out with a very, very small rig, and I had, a sampler, and like it was before ADATs even existed. And it was like, I ran everything live. And like, I was talking about this on Clubhouse that, like even on the Other Fish remix, I wanted to put some vocals on. I had nothing to actually record onto. I didn't have any kind of multi-track at all.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, all I had was my Atari that I was, my Atari that I was.
Did you say Atari?
What? Yeah,
Atari,
with Cubase, I was programming, right?
Zing,
wow,
Cubase.
She said, what?
I mean, what's going
right?
But I recorded like literally single lines of my vocal and then onto cassette, and then sampled them off, and blended them, and then distressed them a little bit further so they sound like an old sample. And so, like,
I completely forgot how much you loved Cubase.
Wow.
And
I was not expecting to hear Cubase tonight.
Let me tell you,
that was Angel. Every word came out of her mouth back then. It was Cubase this, Cubase that.
Well, back in the day, that was the thing.
That was your go-to, yeah.
But the crazy thing is, when I started scoring film, people were like, "You got to move to Pro Tools," and I was like,
"Yeah,
I don't want to
I
learn
love
another
using
thing."
Cubase." But I soon let go. Yeah, and now it's all Pro Tools. But I mean, look, whatever tool works for you. And like, honestly, people ask me,
literally.
Well, what is what's best? And I'm like, what's best is the thing that you don't have to spend all the time reading manuals and figuring out how the hell to use it.
User-friendly, please.
User-friendly, intuitive programming. That's
I'll tell you. I mean, you saw that I was running that thing through BandLab, right? And it's like BandLab is a Cakewalk product, and I remember when Cakewalk came out, and I was like, "Yo, Cakewalk's so cool." And then same thing. Pro Tools comes out, and then you learn Pro Tools, whatever. But to me, I'm like, cloud-based. I can load it up. I can be in my car. I can be listening. You know what I'm saying? Like that has a lot of value.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I totally get it. But to finish the thought about the video, it's like, there's a million ways you could do it. You could be really stuck on the idea, the notion that you must have a huge budget. You got to employ tons of people to do it. You got to get some big ass director to do it. You know what? You don't. And I mean, people are proving this every day, more now than ever. Like, look at on TikTok and what kids are putting together by themselves with a selfie stick and just shooting their own performances and stuff. I mean, there really is no excuse not to just do something, whatever it is, as long as you got the will to do it. And then you just find the way to just present it in whatever way feels like, the best you can do with whatever tools you've got.
And that said, like, I'm glad you said TikTok, because I really enjoy how creative people can be.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, like oh man, we're in such a great time right now for people to be explorative and things like that. I wish we had some of the tools back then when we were coming up.
Absolutely.
So bananas creative.
You might have made a backwards video. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. We honestly we were no
Yeah, some
joke
pretty
as far as
innovative videos, bro.
we were definitely
Right.
no joke when it came to like videos and stuff like that. The thing about our videos is or our imagination is at the time our imagination was too expensive. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we didn't even have the technology that back then that we do now to like
Yeah.
really pick up to really like make what we were thinking happen like
Yeah.
as precise as we wanted it to be. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So it was a lot,
Yeah.
and we dealt with we had the tools that we had, and we had fun, and that brings me to TikTok now. It's like I'm glad to watch TikTok and learn so much from the knowledge side of it, but then the creative side and the fun side is like, oh hell yeah, let
Yeah.
people have fun. All we want to do is have fun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We're leaving those other platforms because they're just like so they're like our parents, and like I didn't ask for a parent. We
Yeah.
don't need that. And they keep losing because they keep losing our interest by not allowing us to be ourselves. You
Yeah.
know, and then we go to another platform and it's fun and we're having like and then here the other guys are looking at, oh, look at that platform, we're going to try to do that, and then they come and try to corral us all, and then they got us for a few seconds, and then they put the parent code on us, and they were
Yep.
like, you know what, this is
It's
shit
a good
again,
metaphor.
by you know what I mean, it's true. You know what I mean? So like watching, we don't need a parent. The point for all you tech motherfuckers out there, we don't need parents.
Mm.
It's like lighten up on the censorship part. Yeah, we don't need to be completely vulgar or whatever,
Hmm.
but leave the platforms where we can be creative, as long as we're not hurting one another or threatening, each
Right.
other's lives or whatever. But the
Mm.
creative side and the dance, like just like on the dance side, just like the break dancer side, watching that, like I love watching all of that stuff. Or I
Hmm.
watch a lot of stuff where people
Yeah.
are talking about, this zodiac is like this, and you like, and just like the creative sense of this particular zodiac person that describes things in their own fun and quirky way,
Mm.
and it just turns everything into complete fun.
Mm.
And that's all we ever wanted to do, is
Yeah.
have fun. So like when we turn like fun energy into music, like they always ask, what will you say to like kids coming up that's trying to be in the music? It's like, just if you can take fun and put it in a bottle, you can sell it. It's priceless. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, TikTok's a big part of that right now, for sure.
I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Yep.
everyone's just, we all want a release.
Yep.
Mm.
We're all looking for a release, man. Be it through music or whatever. You know what I mean? Through jungle, through raves, through all of it. That's
Yeah.
all we're doing. And the more you allow people to freak their funk, the better the world becomes. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah.
That's it. I ain't gonna
Mm.
get too big on it, but
Oh, well, yo, I don't want to keep y'all all night. I just one thing I want to throw out here and get y'all take on, and then before I get you out of here and make sure that you guys get anything else you want to talk about, promote, make sure that you do so. Um, I guess the best way to say it is like this. So we talk about the platform, your point about the TikToks, and we don't need the parental control, if you will. We don't need the supervision. Let people be free. I want to know your take about this though. When we have to service a lot of these platforms, like when you even think about independently, so many independent artists know the whole, I'm going to go distro kid, I'm going to do my thing, or what have you, right? The way that you go through your distribution channel.
yeah.
Do y'all think a case can be made to do away with the servicing of everybody? Because I just bring it up because I'm always like, I don't really know this platform, this platform, this platform, this platform. When people go all platforms, to me it's just like, of course it's all platforms. It's almost like a default. Like, of course we got to do all platforms. But would it kill us if we just did pick three? Like, I got Spotify, I got YouTube, and I got whatever. Pick one. You know what I'm saying? Apple Music. Do we got to
You
do
know,
50, 60 channels? Do we do we got to
we
do
don't
60?
we don't
And
have
would it
to
help
do
us?
we don't have to do it. We don't have to do as many for sure. But how I look at it as, people getting into their favorite car. Some people really like to roll with iMusic. Some people
Mhm.
like to roll with Spotify. Like I you know Spotify definitely needs to pay out more artist wise, and
My goodness.
that's that side of things or whatever, and it's what it
Yeah.
is, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm always on Spotify all the time because like my friend had got me on it and he's like, "Yo, Spotify is just really like this platform that's, you know, really dope." And I dove into it, and now I'm really into it. I'm
Right.
really into it, making playlists, and I'm a DJ. You know what I mean? So it's
Yep.
like that's where I go, the store that I go to find my music, or that's the whip that I ride in
Yep.
to find my music, and at this
Android
moment.
Audio got it right there too.
And I've been definitely offered to, like, yo, Apple, or what is it, Apple Tunes or
Apple
whatever,
Music. Yeah.
Apple Music. Like, my
Yeah.
friends told me about that. I was like, nah, I'm on Spotify. You know, like, or because
Mhm.
that's just my lane about it.
Yep.
So, and
Yeah.
I know what you're saying when it's on all platforms. People are just in different stores, or they're freaking their funk in their particular mall that they like to
Yeah.
roll in. And we have to, like, some people like Saturday Market, some people like the mall, some people, you know what I mean?
So
And
somebody likes Dweezer. I don't even know what that is.
Deezer. Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Someone's there.
You know what Deezer?
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
everybody has their own vibe of where they go to, their own go-to thing. Like, I would like to check out Title, because there's so much
Yeah.
that's on there that I don't know where Title is right now. Like, is it super private? Like, we can't, is there things that we really can't get
I think yeah.
um
I
unless
think
we're
that
on
feed just
Title?
keeps so many people like I don't even want to go to the door. You know what I
Well,
mean?
the
Like
thing
I
is, it's
know my
like,
stuff's on it, but I don't have the subscription. You know.
but the thing
Same.
is, I want music to be free. I
Right.
want to, like, this, like, I just want to be on a platform where I can get it. Like, when I can't get a song, like, I just give up. And
Yeah.
I really want that song, but I'm just like, what do I just show me
See,
where to buy?
I give up
Please
on
show me where to
Spotify because
buy it.
I have bootleg
Please show me where to
Spotify.
buy it.
I got the
You, oh,
bootleg
you,
Spotify. Like I don't got a
uh,
subscription, so it's so irritating because it's like, yo, you got to go back. And
I
like to
just
your point, it's
I
because
just
I
go
just
there to
didn't
find
start
my
with it. You know.
music. I just go there to
Right.
find my music.
Right.
But
Right.
once I find what I like, I actually buy it. And that's to the fans out there.
Dope.
Like,
Yes.
you wonder where your favorite artist fucking went because you stopped buying their fucking
Buying that
music.
stuff. Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
That's a good point.
we had
Yeah.
to struggle some
I'm very guilty of
struggle
not
left or
doing it
struggle
enough
right.
either.
I go and buy music to this
Yeah.
fucking day. If
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
digging it, I'm going on iTunes and I'm going to purchase it. I purchase so much music. Why? Because first off, I should be purchasing it, and to hell with the motherfuckers that put it on us like it's supposed to be free. This shit ain't
Yeah.
never supposed to be free. This is our hard work. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
it's like letting somebody, like, anybody can walk into my house and go in the refrigerator and take whatever the fuck they want, and you know what I mean? And no thank yous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I look at it. Like,
Mm.
I'm not with it. I want people to purchase music. I am not fucking with it. I'm not
Yeah.
with it. I want
Mm.
people to support artists
Mm.
financially. That's what
Yeah.
the fuck we do. This is our livelihood. This is our health care. This is everything. We have to do it all.
Yeah.
We have to do it all. And I've been a label on my own too, and that shit is hard work.
Yeah.
It's like pulling confetti out of your pockets.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
motherfucking Angel knows all about the shit, because and I know it too, because I was parallel to her doing the same fucking thing with my Legend of Phoenix stuff and
Yeah.
going around trying to. It's just so exhausting.
Yep.
It is.
You lose a whole lot. And now when they made it free, it's just like, or supposed to be, it's just,
0.003 cents. You mean?
No.
it's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting.
Right.
Well, they've devalued music completely.
They
It's a
devalued us completely.
And it's secret. No one knows really what's Sony actually getting out of the deal. No one knows. Do you know anyone who knows like what Sony's getting when we get 0.003? Do you have any idea? Like,
Well,
no one knows.
like, fuck all of that shit. I'm talking about just in general. If I have my own label, this is the marketplace where you purchase Pharcyde stuff, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're in this to make dope music, but it's for sale.
Yeah.
Like, I remember going as a kid, my uncle would take me to the grocery store that had a record store in there, and on the wall was just 45s everywhere. And you pick which 45 you fucking love, the song that you love. I want that one. It was probably Rick James or some shit like that. You know what I mean? And we took it home and I put it on the phonograph and played it, and we boogied to it. I purchased that. I bought into. I'm a fan of that music.
Yes.
And I showed my love to it by purchasing it to help further the advancement of whatever future projects they have. And we fucking lose all of that shit.
Right.
And it's needed to be said, and it has to be said. Fuck all the free shit.
Yep.
Fuck it all.
Well, here's
because
this, Angel.
it makes it more of a struggle. I gotta say it.
For real.
I gotta be the one to say it because
Yeah.
we need to like change the behavior.
Because what else can you sell? I mean, you got to be selling shirts and hats. If there's something.
Yeah.
Angel, I got to ask you, Angel, I need you to chime in on this, right? And I almost don't want to put this in the air, but I have to. So the sync, right?
Yeah.
What is so appealing about sync to us, right, is that they're not doing what the Spotify's and all them are doing. In other words, Spotify's is saying you need to show me the money. In other words, like they don't do the model of like we say, here's our okay, Trey got this song and he's gonna put up on Spotify and he wants the check up front. We can't do that. In other words, we gotta say, nope, you only get the 0.003 for every single click. The movie or the film or whatever, they go, here's the check, here's what we think your art is worth, and that's the way it should be. So why do movies have it right, and the industry of music is completely backwards?
Well, here's the deal. It's like we taught them how to treat us.
Mm.
Well,
we accepted them treating us like shit. So Spotify is teaching them how to continue to treat artists like shit. Basically, you know what I mean?
It started with e-music.
It's like a bad relationship.
E-music?
Napster and e-music. I mean, it started. As soon as digital streaming or the ability to kind of just listen to songs without having to pay for them started.
LimeWire and all that stuff.
It unraveled the entire industry. And unfortunately, yes, it has completely devalued music where, there's a couple of generations that think that music is just free. They don't even have the concept of like we did growing up, believe me, I used to love going to the record shop. Was like a whole thing. Yeah, because it was also part of like a culture, and then whoever worked in the shop would probably be DJing the local radio or clubs. And so you'd be building up a relationship based on like shared interests and excitement about music. It was a
reading the liner notes. Yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore. I mean, not in the same way. And there are still like, record stores, but not in the same way. Because there's not the same need for it. So it's a difficult one. The thing about licensing, and the only reason, believe me, if the film industry could get away with just putting your music in and not paying, they would do it. But
that's why I said I don't want to say it, because I feel like they're going to do that.
The only reason that they pay is because they are very rights oriented. Because when a movie is made, and and even from the perspective of hiring me as a composer, and I do compose for a lot of film and TV, they buy out my rights to score their
or they license it, they lease it for X amount of years. You know what I mean? So but
usually for composing, it's a buyout. When it comes to songs, it's a whole other thing. When they're licensing your song, your pre-recorded material, then often they will try to do a in perpetuity worldwide deal so that whatever they're giving you, that's it. But you do get royalties if it's every time it's broadcast. And
because you keep
back in the good old days before streaming, that actually meant something because you get something as a fee. Oh my God, they're coming to get me. Sorry. But you'd get money as a licensing fee, which was great. But if you were on network TV with that song, you'd get a nice chunk of royalties from that. Whereas nowadays, forget it. Like even that's all of the avenues by which a musician could make money in a significant way have been really, slowly getting smaller and smaller over the years. And that's just what it is. But the reason why but on the flip side, back in the day, you would license a song to something like, let's say, a big, a TV show, mainly a TV show, where you would never really know. Like if you heard a song in a TV show years ago, I'm talking before Shazam, before, the streaming services became a thing, you'd never be able to figure out what it was. Now you're watching something and immediately, whip out the Shazam, figure out what it is and buy it before the thing's even over. So, there's pluses and minuses, but the bottom line is it's really, really helpful for musicians to get their music licensed to anything that is going out into the world that can help promote them in a passive way.
Right.
So you're not out there struggling, killing yourself, to do every single piece of promo in the world. There's only so much we can do. I mean, there's a ton we can do on our own these days, but it is really It's a full-time gig on top of making music and doing everything else you do.
I just, honestly, it just needs to all pan out to be a win-win situation. For that's it. That's all. Honestly, that's all I want. I just want us all to win.
Yes.
I want to win. I want Spotify to win
Yeah.
for having a platform that is kind of fun. It's kind of cool to be on that shit. But
Yeah,
let us all win about that. You know what I
yes.
mean? Like, just let's all play fair. As far as like, especially for us DJs, when I'm like on Instagram, when I go live and I'm DJing on Instagram and they shut my shit down, because I'm playing like, classic
Copywritten
music or
material.
whatever.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
thing is like we're at a time now, and that's just Instagram for that, because you can go on Mixcloud and you can DJ all the fuck you want. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I think, and I don't quote me on this, but I think they pay they pay something towards like the rate, like almost like what radio would do,
Yeah.
and that takes care of things. So Instagram needs to like get their shit together about that. Like, why am I streaming at them? I can just go to another platform. I get that, okay. But since we're DJing and we turn this shit up, it's like the artist wants the DJs to play their shit to their audience to bring, to bring awareness. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So at the very least, it's like, okay, now, I did like an hour set, and I posted the set, and what can happen instead of like flagging this shit is just put a link on that little area where you can click on it and go buy it. That's that's a win-win. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So like, just make it where people can click on it, like what they're hearing, and go and get it. That way, it everyone wins. And if there's like a commercial, like some kind of commercial that comes in and plays or whatever the fuck it does, that revenue can be split for the platform, for the person that hosted it, and the artist. It's really fucking simple.
Yeah,
and
it's amazing that's not here yet.
maybe they're working it out, but it shouldn't be so complicated. And
True.
I'll be glad when and it could be out now, but this is my wish list, that as far as publishing is concerned, when we put out a song, all the artist names are on it, and then we put it through a little platform, and it just pays out the fucking royalties off top, and nobody's worried about shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just gets done.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
And if it's there, it's there. And I don't know about it, but I like to know about it because I like to get involved.
There
I got
is-
tons of music to drop.
There's in the metaverse, it's going to be a bit more like
That's gonna
that.
be that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Because
Of
of the
smart
blockchain.
contracts, and then
Smart
everybody,
contracts, blockchains. Whoo, can't wait.
so there are things moving in that direction. But the music biz has been ripping off artists. Like, let's go way back to like Frank Sinatra's first deal. I mean, it was never set up to keep artists anything but hungry, always.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where it's still
that whole
at.
Tin Pan Alley thing. I mean, that was real. That's back on that how publishing started.
And that's why I circle back to say I just want us to have a win-win
for everyone.
situation.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
I'd say this.
None of us can lose our heads about this.
I mean, you know this trade, like currently, touring and stuff like that. It's like I say to artists all the time, not being like most of us. I was talking like being that mid tier or even under. Most of the world do not have legendary tracks like you have, right? And so it's like, to have sustainability, if you don't have the legendary tracks, where do you go to actually receive that income? And I point artists all the time in the directions of things that it seems like they don't want to look at. It's like, well, yeah, sync makes some sense, right? If you have non-sampled music and your stuff has a general, you have that, there's that lane, we got that. But the other lane, and I'm always pushing this, is like, people aren't cool enough with just being able to humble themselves and do colleges and do high schools. There's so much money in colleges. It's crazy. I tell artists all the time.
That's all. That's all a part of it after the visibility happens, because that's the only way you can be able to get access in that capacity. So
unless you have message too, like you got message, you can get in there through different lanes too.
Well, yeah. Thank God for a good message, because people got messages, but they ain't always.
That's very true.
But man, this is cool, man.
Yeah, I got to let you guys run, because
this is fucking cool.
I'm as I eat my popcorn, I'm realizing, man, I'm taking away some quality Netflix time from my people here, right here, and you gotta go watch them Netflix and watch them shows and be like, that one, that's where this one's going.
Uh-huh.
Right, especially well, Angel definitely does. Like,
I haven't watched Netflix in like 3 weeks. Who am I kidding? But I'm just saying, it's my dream and
Yes.
aspiration is to have a free time and be able to watch Netflix. I don't want to infringe upon yours.
Well, listen, I just got back home from camping. We were racing
What?
off of the mountain to get here to do this interview.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what I
Wow.
mean. So
I
like
was at
it was.
Six Flags, bro. I hear you. I was there.
Oh,
I
what?
was,
Swap
that's what I'm
places with
saying.
you.
I almost wore the shirt, but I didn't want to give myself away. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be that
Yeah.
tourist.
Nah,
I
man.
got the Superman Six Flags. Actually, you know what? Now I'm gonna put it out there because we're gonna have to hit them up.
Now I gotta go, man. I gotta go.
I don't know if you can see it, but I don't know the blur.
Oh yeah,
Gotta
that's
do
what's
that.
up.
Gotta do
Nice.
that Six Flags. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
We gotta
yeah.
do it. We
They
gotta
got
do
some
it.
roller coasters I need to, because I'm a roller coaster fanatic, so I need to go
Ooh, I mean, you better be with Bizarre Ride, bro.
extreme.
You better be.
Right? Yeah, coming soon.
We did the water park. We did it right. We did the water park though. We really hit the water park. My wife got on the roller coaster
Did
while
you
I
buy
was.
did you buy water shoes so you didn't burn your feet off?
We brought them. We brought them. We brought them with the foresight. So
Standing in like them lines be like 3 hours a piece just for one
crazy,
side.
crazy.
They got to figure that out.
They got some, like the Superman ride and all that kind of stuff. They got like the equivalent of those now in the water park. Like the water park. I don't know if y'all have been on this one. We gotta run the Six Flags. We do a thing here. Only when Quo's on the show do we really do it. We do this thing. We call it the unofficial sponsor, and we do the sponsor we like to have, and we sponsor their stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
And
yeah.
so we do some big ones, but we got to do the Six Flags unofficial
Hey,
official sponsor.
they better let you in free all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, this what they got. They got this. Maybe I'm late to the party, but it seems though this thing looks like me and my son. We say it looks like we call it the Spider-Man because it looks like a prop in the Spider-Man. It's like this huge bowl. It's like this huge dish that would look like something in the middle of like one of their things that you see get terrorized in the middle of the city or something in the lake that would I can't even explain it. It's like this huge dish, and it looks like it's like a part of a satellite or something. And your raft goes into it in this giant kind of cone. It looks like a stadium on its side in a way. And you go up that thing, and you're in a 4-person raft, and then you go up the other wall, and it happens like 5 times, and they're like warning you. They're like, "Hey, hold on tight," kind of thing. And you can take a header on this one.
Okay.
Yo, it's the real deal.
I think I'm gonna try it out next time I'm there.
If you like roller coasters, you're gonna like that one because that's like the roller coaster of water slides.
Yeah. Okay. I need to do that.
All right, and we did not get our 0.003 cents right there from Six Flags, but we gotta make sure that we do next time.
Yeah, man.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Trey, and I appreciate it,
thank
Angel.
You. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Any closing words or places to send people before we get you out of here?
Well, go to 60 channels and buy the music.
.com.
Exactly. I don't know what you got.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna buy it from Bandcamp. But
absolutely, Bandcamp. They got special like Tuesdays, or is that the day that they?
It's a Friday. I think Friday. It's the first Friday of every month. They were doing for a while. Sometimes it's intermittent. It just depends. But I mean, whenever it is, it's just like it's probably the most artist.
I'm not even on there. I gotta fess up. I'm not even really on there. Yeah. So,
come on.
Everybody tells me that. I'm like, all
right. There's so many platforms and so
that's
many
what I'm saying.
Platforms.
But
you know what?
But you can.
I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to land.
Right.
What'd you say, Angel?
Well, the nice thing about Bandcamp is it's yours. There's no middleman. There's no other distributor.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Because all of our stuff is distributed by the Orchard, except for we have our little tiny label has a direct deal with Apple because we were with them right from the beginning when they first started, and we had a lot of love up in the Bay Area, and they came to us and said, "Hey, you want to be part of this thing?" And we were like,
"That's cool, yeah."
But yes, the answer was just yes. So but Bandcamp. You can control it yourself. You release things when you want. I mean, I've actually been thinking about. I've got a score album that I'm releasing, very different from my records, my artist records, and I'm almost thinking about like just putting it on Bandcamp and just selling it there, like not putting it anywhere else.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Control it.
But only for that particular thing. But if you need to be part of the ecosystem of getting into playlists and things to get the exposure that you need. Then it's hard to kind of hold something back in that way, So it's always a question of like,
that's trade-off, yeah.
So I haven't done that yet, and I don't know that I will. But it's been a conversation that we've been having. So absolutely. I know why you're asking the question, and it's a good question.
Yeah, I think about it all the time.
Angel, and I know, because I know how put this here, put this there, and whatever, and how I think about you. I was like, man, the lane that you're in. man, with the people that you have, the wingspan that you have with and the film and TV, I was like, man, that's gonna do a whole lot. You know what I mean? And just point of focus. You know what I mean? Like that's a good angle to
Yeah.
let this music rain on everyone because you know as I think about it, it's kind of like it's the most obvious
Mm,
lane
Yeah,
mm,
it is.
to do it. Like I feel like there's going to be a lot of so maybe it's that's the lane that you know and that's the that's the obvious and you'll work it that way. And
Yeah, yeah,
other lanes that you don't have, you're gonna reaching out in that capacity. But I feel
yeah.
like it's going to do so big in that lane
mm,
Mhm.
that other parts are going to pick up on it
Yeah,
definitely. And that's just intuitive me, just doing my little psychic thing or whatever. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But
yeah, yeah.
I really feel that stronger. It's more authentic.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's like I want the things that we all do, whether it be you or Pharcyde or whatever, to really. I remember the days when things were super organic, and that's what we want. That's what we
mm,
used to win. I
yeah.
remember the day putting up the fire hydrant, pissing on the dog sticker around, and nobody knew who
Yes.
the freak we were ever.
Yeah,
But you walk around Hollywood in different places, like at a phone booth, and there's like a sticker with a fire hydrant pissing on the dog, and the far side. Who the hell is that?
mhm,
And
exactly.
I just remember like I feel like in our minds and hearts or how we feel is like the instant gratification is something that kind of kills us
Yeah, I
because
know.
we forget that this took work. It took work for us to go gold. You know what I mean? It took
mm,
many, many tours
Yeah,
for us to go gold. And we were definitely getting it out to the people and doing our shows and performing. And these were the things that turned the needle
yeah,
completely. Like we
yeah.
had to stop touring. We had to literally stop touring to make Lab Cab in California.
mm,
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah.
we were always at work. This is never, and I think Tyler Creator was saying something I saw, and it was like something I saw, and he's like, I don't know why people stop promoting their old thing
all this stuff, right?
because yeah, you just keep them. He's like, I'm still promoting my
Say it
old
too.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like these little campaigns. It's like we give up on the campaign because we're so into the instant gratification side of things, but it's gotta the way that it feels to you, Angel, and how
Mhm.
you project out, and you be hustling everybody. Like, we gotta do, yeah, that energy, man. The music, first off, the music has to speak for itself, and which is
Right.
doing that, and
Yeah,
to state the obvious and look in look in your garden. That don't step out of your garden yet. Like
yeah,
let motherfuckers, hey, like I want this garden to be like the blueberry bush around. Like I can go to the store and get blueberries, or I can walk across the street and just pick them from the side that it
yeah,
grew over the side that we can just pick them freely over here. But the owners of the bush, they what I'm
Mm,
saying? It's like
yeah,
we want what you created to spill over the yard that you already know and own, and let it be fruit that we can pick from. Because
mm,
I
yeah,
think people will respect it more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
and that's how like I don't think about I just think about what the fuck we're doing as Far Side, as Imani Fatlip and Slim Kid Trey. I just think
mm,
I can only think of what we're doing. And by the time man, it's like aircraft. It was so fast that you hear the sound, but we already gone.
mm,
yeah,
You know what
mm,
I'm saying? Y'all picking from the fruit that man, we on the next shit. You
mm,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But
yeah,
like I say that to say, man, like I don't worry about it. It's going is like as we can sit here, the three of us, and talk about the different magic movies we can see this in.
mm,
The world's gonna fucking feel it and see it the same.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we
Mhm.
can like, and that's in like in your yard. That's the simplest. Start there.
Yeah.
Lay it on all your folks because that's your wingspan.
mm,
Them's your folks.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
You know what I'm saying? Those are your folks, man. Like my folks,
yes,
they activated. My folks is activated about shit that we do, but
that's nice.
they're also activated about the fact that, hey, man, I love y'all shit. But that one song, I wasn't really feeling that one. But these others, that's and they riding for you regardless, and they pulling that other thing that they didn't really like so much on too. You know what I mean? It's like I'm working. I feel like I'm working on our culture
Mm,
is the most important and I want it to be like, man, I feel like I'm in culinary school, and I really want to perfect my how I make a steak, or how I bake a cake when it comes to this music and stuff like that. Because
Mhm.
when my fans taste it, they're going, oh man, no question,
Yeah.
no question. And when your fans get your music, it should be no question. As easy as it is for me to know exactly, like without fuck my vocal, your music, the beat, the track that you made, you can lay that shit anywhere.
Mm.
Yo, I want to feel, I want to hear that, because it makes my imagination go like this. And then
Mm.
when you hear a vocal come across, it's like, yo, they added that shit to
This
it.
is how it goes down. It's
I'm just
inseparable to
saying,
me. Like
you know what I'm
I
saying?
hear it even
So
if it ain't there. Like I'm
right, and that's the beauty. That's the beautiful thing, and that's the beauty of it. I know I talk long or whatever, but I just want to say these things because either it's going to be the shit or shit that nobody want to fuck with.
Mm.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just put it out like it's already doing its thing. For
Mm.
Yeah.
me,
Mm.
it's already how I feel about it. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, I talked too long.
No,
No,
no.
absolutely. No, it's great to hear all these insights. It's
But
great for all the artists to hear too.
man, like this shit, like the instant gratification shit, we got to get off of that because it's going to stress us out.
Yeah. Well, the other thing
You
is,
know what I'm saying?
that there's a thing in the industry about, what's the newest thing you've done.
Yeah.
It's always about what's the newest thing you've done. Well, I have a body of work that is this long. I mean,
Mhm.
30 years of recordings. I've done a lot of
Yeah.
really interesting things. I've done some really crazy left field stuff too. I've done all kinds of stuff. But, I think it's tough for artists also to always have to feel that their worth is only about this latest thing that they've just done. And it's fine to feel excited about the new things that we do. That's really good. It keeps us going. But
Yeah.
there's a thing about, like, looking at everything, that one has done, and keeping the vibe alive on everything,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's just
I
it's
got
your
like I got
right
like
to
Hey,
six joints. I got like
like,
6 joints off the ProQuo thing that are still coming. I mean, we're gonna put them out one by one by one. I'm like, nope, this joint's coming. This joint's coming. This
there you
joint's coming.
go.
Yeah,
so
it'll
listen,
be 3 years from the date
and,
it started.
and I love all of that. And I'm gonna say one thing. Like when I hear "Run the Jewels,"
Hmm.
Mm.
I can't wait to fucking get. They don't even, maybe they didn't even make new shit yet, and I can't wait for it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or I think of the new Black Thought and Danger Mouse record. What they keep like giving us one at a time, and I
Yep.
can't wait for the rest of that shit to open up for me. You know what I mean? And it's like that's what your following is. That's what we building. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
that part. You know what I mean? So when they hear the angels, like, oh, she coming with some jungle shit or what? You know what I mean? Like,
That's
damn,
Yep.
I
keeping it.
can't wait. I can't wait for that next thing because we know, So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways,
Man,
just
you got me inspired. I'm gonna run some
it's just
ProQuo right
it's
after
just
y'all
your
get out of here,
imprint.
man.
Yo, it's just your imprint. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, what's your stamp? Bam. What's your
Yeah.
stamp?
Absolutely. I mean, look, remember I sent you a text the other night about somebody that retweeted the track the other night, and this is someone that I've worked with as a composer, and he's a showrunner. He's the person that hires everybody to work on his shows, and
That's
we
good.
get along great. And I know he's a fan, and I love him, and I love his work. But I had no idea he was going to pick up on the track and retweet it a couple of different ways, a couple of different posts. And I was like,
Right.
that was just really nice of him. And like, who knows what,
Well, I
what he's
tell him this for me. Let's go. Let's
Let's
go. Let's go.
exactly.
Like Trey told me to tell you this. Let's go.
Exactly. I mean, the good news is, at least it reaches people who are kind of in a position to do something, which is
And
nice.
tell them all, let's go.
Let's go.
Motherfucker, let's go.
Yeah,
do it.
exactly.
Yeah.
We're ready. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how it goes down.
That's why, you know what? That's
Well
why
said.
yeah is such a great word to say. Like, yeah. Because like, yeah, that's like motherfucker, let's go. Like, yes or yeah is not it's the same.
Nah.
Yeah.
Put a little J in there. Put a
You
little
know
J in
it.
there. Put
I
a little
know
sauce
it.
on that
We
J.
know it.
Yeah.
Ah.
Right?
Absolutely.
All right. Peace, y'all.
All right, y'all. Appreciate it. Come through anytime. Let us know what's up in the near future. And once it gets in the movies, we got to have you on too. All right. Take care, y'all.
All right, let's go.
Sounds good.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Peace.
Thank you, Pro.
Thank you, Angel.
Yeah.
Peace, and I'll see you soon. Love y'all. Peace. That was the Angel and Slim Kid. Man, thanks for coming through. That was great. I'm inspired. I'm like, I know if you're an artist, you're inspired too. You're like, man, I gotta put out that joint that I wasn't gonna put out. That's what I'm talking about. That's how we started out. Speaking of which, I'm gonna run right now. I'm gonna play a ProQuo joint that you've never heard. Well, you might have heard if you listened to the show really, really like a lot. I'm gonna play a ProQuo song that we got in the cut that we like to call second, like part of our pile of stuff for the second album. So this one is in rough form. It's called Auspicious. We're gonna put this out. No, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna play Auspicious, right? We're gonna play Auspicious. It's in rough form. We almost there with it. We're gonna run it. Shout out to Quo. Y'all might be seeing Quo sooner than you think. All right, so here we go. This is not how it goes down. This is how we do Auspicious, ProQuo.
ProQuo. Yeah. Been auspicious since you was talking with snitches. Looking all suspicious, flossing with washing dishes. Found see the faces, cash app and start squinting, dog. I thought you was a boss while you cooking raw in the kitchen. Listen, all you spitting don't need to audition. Too many Tarantinos on sitting in San Quentin. Pendants on mission, probing on the mission. While y'all was sipping the juice, I was cruising with archbishops. Life like a race, full court or a scrimmage, all net. I'm in the playoffs, player, you gon' fishing. Digging in the crates, coming up at the bud mess. This Lord plug and rocking the Boston shows before they close, no sisters. Out of place, we putting back the raw image. If I don't see the face, we ain't talking no business. My people sense fake, crossed out, no gimmicks. Destination real close, everything a fast finish. Focus on minds, most of them's all pivots. Throw away the rhyme, move on to something different. Stop taking up space in the lane, you ain't shifting. Life like a race or a full court scrimmage. All net, first place, all me too distant. Dig through the crates, get a full more printed. Sip, get a taste, full glass, all vintage. 93. They calling me Christ. I resurrected, crucified a couple records from ice. It's possible the gospel stay in everything I write. Understand I don't preach, but I'm living my life. Rubber bands don't mean I'm killing the price. Summer beans over free, taking advice. Got a team looking priceless, we bigger than Mike. Got the dream talk, got it, and we twisting the Sprite. It's still coke, still dope, still cocaine. It's low flow, still lyricals, ill spit propane. Up in your grill without that profane. Road rage is ProQuo, bro. That's the flow plus the show's name.
Yeah, and we're gonna give you real rough never right now. ProQuo, baby.
I will never come back in a track that's facts obvious. Never not snapping a track and not body it. Never drop a curse in my verse to do numbers. The truth is I remove them, professor, I do numbers. Keep it 100 like final exams. I don't do demos, I do vinyl and hand, man. When hits ruin the murderous Paul Molitor. I'm Steve Rogers at Endgame with Molinor. Cribbing expedient, lifted, leading these followers. Social media, Peter stay busy booking these colleges. Never been easier, simply clicking Expedia. Seamlessly blend them, see
and weaving through academia. A Wikipedia never shows you the half of it. When half of ProQuo, because Quo came so talented. I proclaim the name, so who can challenge it? Defeated Legacy, all at your feet. You swing and embarrass us. I never come wicking the track, this fact's obvious. Never not snapping the track and not body it. Never come last in the rap and not clobber it. Never no ProQuo on any one of them continents. Never come whacking the track, this fact's obvious. Never not snapping the track and not body it. Never come last in the rap and not clobber it. Never no ProQuo on any one of them continents.
I'm gonna push my way out of here, even though I can't say win. But I'm gonna get off of this dead end street, and I ain't gonna never come back again.
Yeah, I never say it is impossible. Never made a move without a vision that's phenomenal. Avoid division lest I divvy up the honorables. Usually body it, but this right here is like a popsicle. Whip with ProQuo at the show, we abominable. No fools in the deck, start counting, keep it logical. 21 dudes in the bag with $1 due. Taking off the leash on my dog at the barbecue. The rules I obsessed never didn't clear the obstacle. It's a cruise summer, east to west tropical. Even when the winter come, we showing up as powerful. Trekking through the stars with my stars. They the pilots too, respecting all the guards. Shepherd goats to the harvest too. The real labor set a standard, better catch a clue. Figure that one out.
Yeah, I got it.
Never come wagging the track.
I get it off my chest.
In life we taught to breathe pain, right?
Baby.
And it is spiritual. But the human element of it all makes it so beautiful, you know what I mean? I didn't die to resurrect. I bear pain after I wept. Old habits to an old mind state. I do reflect, recognize and realize the grind ain't about your neck. It's more about getting better over things you trying to wreck. I used to change like the weather if you was raining on my step. Feeding me the drama. Now I take away those breaths so make you think about it. Now you can get it off your chest or let it slide. Swallow pride and leave that how it should be left. How many people getting got cause they be playing with them F's? My people need a knock that trickle down to every thought and pull you out of rest. You still alive, so reach the sky before your death. Crucified, you're welcome. Hope you take steps, digest.
Get it off your chest, get it off your chest.
You gotta be getting it off your chest, player.
Get it off your chest.
All that stress.
Get it off your chest, get it off your chest. You better get it off your chest, player. Get it off your chest, player.
My crucifixion is an affliction with this pastime. Remember I caught the urge back when I first heard Nas's halftime. Always had rhymes, but at times I put no purpose into journaling, and it was clear to me this was therapy, natural Percocet. Whenever I murder it, now I can say for sure that the verse is lit and my vocal sound prodigious on some Andreas Perez Ursulit. That's when I would work it more with fervor, I get merciless. The merchant of Venice, whenever I pen this, Lord applaud your journalist. But on the earnestness, my service is my life's work. By putting this pen to paper, neighbor made certain that my lights work. And this is light work with my pencil at my desk, just keeping my 16s 100 presidential address. Yes, my stress is lesser now. Ask anyone since 21. Much better it's probably ever been since 1/20/21. Money come and I'm better off, like Benny off through investing. When time is of the essence, we all richly then it's destined.
Get it off your chest, get it off your chest.
Get it off your chest.
Get it off your chest, get it off your chest. Get it off your chest, get it off your chest. You better be getting it off your chest, player. Get it off your chest, player.
This is
Get it
ProQuo,
off
baby.
your chest. Get
It's all
it
about
off your
getting it off
chest.
that chest. Relieving that
Get it
stress.
off your chest. You better be getting it off your chest, player. Get it off your chest, player. Get it off your chest.
Lift that veil.
Get it off your chest.
Chest.
Get it off your chest. You better be getting it off your chest, player. Get it off your chest.
That's some ProQuo in your place to be, baby. And you know what? The next joint coming out is Dive In It, and it sounds like this one.
My mind and my spirit are really divine, and I'm fearless. I'm coming
Shout
out
out
live
to
and
the
in
angel.
cheer, and I ride with my peers. If you try to disguise your appearance, I never will try to come near it.
We ain't playing with you.
My mind and my spirit are really divine, and I'm fearless. I'm coming out live and in cheer, and I ride with my peers. If you try to disguise your appearance, I never will try to come near it. My mind and my spirit are really divine, and I'm fearless. I'm coming out live and in cheer, and I ride with my peers. If you try to disguise your appearance, I never will try to come near it.
I got that double-edged sword. Ancestor talk, archangels at doors. Ghost in the dark, soul channels dial for us. We
Before rap, I had my mind on Forbes. Pen and pad throwbacks, fires in the Fords. Better friends with more laps. Run you off course, might be slipping off the frost. Hillside, we the source. Michael with me, that's a Moby type force. Tribal with my homies, got X, no cross. Valuable, you gotta know me. Liable to sink the rollie. Half of me is never holy. The animal is out, instinct still control me. Want the handle on the pout, heads and tails on the pony. Is the hammer coming out? Hanging trophies in the house, playing oldies, checking routes, holding rosies in my mouth. No EBTs for groceries, man, and cheeses for the mouse. The example for my C's, sole provider for my spouse. Spiritual physique, diamonds all over my scouts. Give you 1,000 degrees, build the ark, flip the drought.
My mind and my spirit are really divine and I'm fearless. I'm coming out live and they cheering. I ride with my peers if you try to disguise your appearance. I never will try to come near it. My mind and my spirit are really divine and I'm fearless. I'm coming out live and they cheering. I ride with my peers if you try to disguise your appearance. I never will try to come near it. I stayed in the trap with boys who was making them racks with nothing but weight in the mask. Then I separated from that and lo and behold, everyone put a blade in my back. But I'm not tripping or looking for ways to get even. I sit and I pray for my demons, cause everyone who ever thought I would fail is looking for ways that can sneak in and lanes that can be in. And I kindly deny it from you. There's no way a snake could reside in my group. You tried to put tridents in all of my titles and moves. What were you trying to prove?
For the sake of simplicity, say I'm divinity. Body not carrying, moss like I'm Trinity. Gauntlet infinity, probably not many be thinking it proffers the perfect identity. Back to the enclave, roots in the back cave. You can bring a badland down like Fenway. You can bring it back, swing swords like senseis. Everybody gotta stand, rumble at the pen game. Cavaliers, this that end game. In a snap out of rap that will penetrate. It will accelerate, pick up your meta rate. No one is better with these thoughts I disseminate. On the interstate, and why the bean town. When I'm in a rental on a meta that I freestyle. DC now, Oliver Queen for that green in the hood, leave you Oliver Queens.
I'm a fan of him.
My mind and my spirit are really divine and I'm fearless. I'm coming out live and they cheering. I ride with my peers if you try to disguise your appearance. I never will try to come near it. My mind and my spirit are really divine and I'm fearless. I'm coming out live and they cheering. I ride with my peers if you try to disguise your appearance. I never will try to come near it. My mind and my spirit are really divine and I'm fearless. I'm coming out live and they cheering. I ride with my peers if you try to disguise your appearance. I never will try to come near it. What were you trying to prove?
Yo, that's some ProQuo right there. And yeah, that joint is just off the hook. And speaking of joints that are off the hook, we got to get this Fee. Pro Fee, Ruby Shabazz, Ski Beats.
Let's start on.
Back in the days, baby.
Take me back in the day
Summertime.
when the music would play. We were ciphering in the hallway to the beats and the breaks. Couldn't make no mistake. Those were the days where the rating are free, let it flow with the breeze. Making this hip hop we speak. No, it wasn't a phase, cause the music would play. Those were the days.
Rock a block, native with the tongue when we spit it, leaving future archaeologists lyrical hieroglyphics. But a messenger, head bob as we beat. Kicking the under, making you wonder like Stevie. Excal the sword, Lord Plord and Phoebes. Cats got you open, rock a block like ski beats. MCing for the culture and the freedom, that's the reason. The sun, moon and stars, the earth and the gods.
It's the ecstasy, loaded for a couple dudes around. 16 so beautiful, should hang him in the Guggenheim. Blew your mind with the pen and the verse. Excal since 96 at 1/10 the verse. Of course, making instrumentals uptown is Ski's crib.
Weekends take the rentals down from Boston like a ski trip.
The best secret ever kept, now the professor is popping with them butters, got them talking on their messengers.
Take me back in the day when the music would play. We were ciphering in the hallway to the beats and the breaks. Couldn't make no mistake. Those were the days where the written are free, let it flow with the breeze. Making this hip hop we speak. No, it wasn't a phase, cause the music would play. Those were the days.
Y'all ain't ready for the Excal machete war, where every metaphor will spit your word like Ecuador. Back and forth, 4 bars it passed. Nobody has ever been able to say that Lord Plord ain't fast now. I teach class forth and back to a college horse. Went from popping junk, now keep it a buck like the dollar store. Rip the sword while Ski beats the soundtrack. Smacking a pack of rappers, Excal making it sound fast.
Uptown in the lab on a Saturday night, feeling the glow but on the low, the camp was mad high. Catching a vibe over glossy beats as the lights shine bright over the gritty city streets. Rocking my Timbs and soft butter leathers. Man, I thought those days would last forever. However, living better now, bit of cheddar now. Rock a block with gems, that's the plan, girlfriend.
Take me back in the day when the music would play. To the beats and the breaks, couldn't make no mistakes. Whether written or free, let it flow with the breeze. No, it wasn't a phase, cause the music would play. Yeah, that was the day.
Ski beats, rock on. I be hood, rock on. Ruby red, rock on. ProQuo, rock on. Revolutionist, rock on. Serba, rock on. Invasion, rock on. The affiliates, rock on. Rock on. Camp Lou, rock on. T-Strong, rock on. Chubby Chub, rock on. Red-handed, rock on. GCS,
Rock on. That joint's bumping. I heard Summertime today while I was going around the theme park in the raft. And Summertime comes on. I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. He's like, the temperature is about 88. You know, it was 88 sitting out there like, woo. And then all of a sudden I was like, yo, back in the days could be that same joint too, baby. It's that Summertime love. Shout out to all the DJs playing back in the days. Appreciate it. I'm looking at some other joints here. I don't think I'm going to, you know what? I might play a little BTG vibe. Shout out to Bridging the Gap. I'll play a little of that. Let's get that out there. Shout out to JT. Shout out to Jahan. Quo. Pro. Tam. It's that theme song, that BTG vibe.
It's that BTG vibe. Hey, yo, Quo. Let 'em know.
Yo, grandmama told me put the family first. Mama told me do it harder than you ever worked. Pops told me listen more when you decide to speak. Pro told me when your time comes, be prepared to teach. I told Tam I'ma grow the beats. Worldwide youth chapters, new products for the streets. Self-made when the violence has ceased. I see the rain and sun rays over regular beef. Tears falling for the children, I'm weak. It's sad watching great-grandmother stuck in the wheat. So I'm repping the youth, better living, I'm proof. Got them seeing the truth. See the casket sales way too high, so we stay in the booth. And we way too fly to be dead in the coop.
It's the B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap in the streets, baby. It's the B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap in the streets, baby. It's the B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap in the streets, baby. It's that B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap everywhere, baby. We bridge the gap like structural engineers. For anybody you stuck, you discovered your tribe here. Find the dares and motivations to test them. Keep them all clear and be open to all suggestions. I take questions, help find solutions. Point the youth in the same direction the truth is. Let them discover it, never feel like we preaching it. Cause meet them where they at is the only way to be reaching them. They think I'm teaching them cause my name is Professor though. The real jewel is every class I get better though. More professional learning from all my learners. Some are sojourners and others in their turners. Revolutionary seeking to change. Looking for angels whose investors not seeking loose change. The crew's name that's BTG and them initials on point like CP3. It's the B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap in the streets, baby. It's that B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap in the streets, baby. B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap in the streets,
baby. Bridge that gap. Bridging the gap, baby. I'm just playing some joints here. I'm winding it down, and I'm entertaining myself on the DJ tip, you know, because that's what I'm doing. I might play one more joint just for me, you know, DJing for myself. You know what I mean? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna play. Let me play a little bit of that dark poetry. Comes out the 18th, yo. Get that? Save now. We'll give you a little sneak piece. Check out Montreal Girls, August 20th at CineQuest. That's where you want to be. You want to be over there at CineQuest. Yo. Actually, maybe I'm not going to give you a sneak of that. It doesn't feel like playing. All right then. All right then. You know, I just do what it does. If it don't want to play, I say, all right, I'm with you. Let's see. Uh, apologize. That's coming from ProQuo soon too. Check it out, baby. Oh, you know what? It isn't just that. We got something. We got something. Try it again. Bam, 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 bam. See if we can do it this time. No. Hey man. Sometimes the powers to be just don't want to play the joints. Check it out. There we go.
Dad, when are you coming, Daddy?
This joint is crazy. Sleeper album song. Love this joint.
Yeah, I miss your company, baby. You know I died for you. 20 feet apart, hardly paying any mind to you. It's so real, trying to balance all my time for you. Woke me off the couch, I fell asleep writing these rhymes to you. Yeah, the trust factor so big. Eating dinner with the kid, saying daddy on the grind for you. Putting him to bed while I'm working off my head out late. Old face, shit, I never lied to you. Till we did, the legacy survived through you. Can't wait to walk your big out with you. Yeah, she say she hated when I talk a lot, but love how that pearl compass sitting in the parking lot. You my whole world queen, home is my Camelot. Remy vying for attention, while looking forward to this road to excellence. Depressing when you all about your crew. I write a testament, invested in
My
the things I never
apologies.
see.
I know this hip hop probably stole a lot of time. All these rhymes on robbery. Sorry, and get it big like the lottery. Giving it my whole heart and soul, every part of me. Apologies. I know this hip hop honestly stole a lot of time. All these rhymes on robberies. Apologies. Got me switching up the policies, giving us that quality time. I finally promise you. Listen carefully. I remember times you were there for me, trying to make it better, but I never.
I've always been there for you. So that was a mix. That's a live mix, so that I can do it live when Quo's there. So that's dope. That's why I'm so low on that. But dope, man. That one's coming. That's apologize. I apologize. My apologies. You know this hip hop probably stole a lot of time. All these rhymes on robbery. Sorry, we and hit it big like the lottery. Giving it my heart and soul, every part of me. Apologies. Yeah, baby. All right, I'm about to get out of here. I'm just entertaining myself. I got some work to do. I hope y'all had a good week. Start to your weekend. I know I did. And shout out to all y'all who might be your last weekend before you go back to school. That's some of y'all out there. I know that's some of y'all. And we see you on the other side. Peace and shout out and thanks again for SlimKid3 of Pharcyde coming through with the Angel in their joint. You need to make sure you check it out because that's how it go down. Peace, y'all.